Towards the net, blocked down in front, rebound, scores! Evan Oakley, here's Farmer on a breakaway, Farmer scores! Short-handed break, Benzine in on Zevnik, oh, and a great left pad save there, shot deflected, they score! Collins stops short-handed!
You're listening to Wildcats Hockey, presented by Armored Roofing on the Wildcats Broadcast Network.
Hello and a very good evening to you from high atop the ice level at the K. Yeager Coliseum. It's time for Wildcats Hockey. Hello and welcome to the broadcast. Ben Horner with you on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network. Thank you so much for making us a part of your Saturday evening plans, as tonight the Wildcats look to finish off a clean 4-point weekend sweep of the Corpus Christi Ice Rays in their final home game of the calendar year 2014. Well, last night the Wildcats kept their good run of form at the KYC going with a 7-1 win over the Corpus Christi Ice Rays. It marked the third highest offensive output of the year for the Wildcats, and it was a contest that was never really in doubt after the opening faceoff. The Wildcats used 3 goals in the first period and 3 goals in the second to turn that one into a bit of a blowout. An insurance tally, or a extra point tacked on in the third period, made it 7-1, and it was a really balanced attack from top to bottom, which was the most notable thing about last night's 7-1 win, aside from the fact that it kept Corpus Christi winless on the road. The Wildcats got going early last night. Reisinger picked up the first goal of the game just 2:28 into the first. It happened off a bit of a fortuitous bounce. He banked it home from below the goal line, but it'll look like a snipe in the box score, and that's exactly what it looked like, and that gave the Wildcats a 1-0 lead, and they would never look back. Paul Subri then made it 2-0 before Collins stopped. Made it 3-0, just over 10 minutes played in the first period. Corpus Christi would wind up scratching back with the power play goal late in the first period, but that was all the Ice Rays could muster on the night. As the second period took them out of the contest, they gave up another 3 goals. The Wildcats outshot Corpus Christi 19-2 in that second stanza last night, controlling the contest like I have never seen at this level, or any level for that matter. As I also asked Coach LaFontaine whether he had seen anything quite like that. We'll hear his full thoughts in the first intermission, but suffice it to say that he had not seen anything quite like that in his time in junior hockey. So the Wildcats picked up win number 16, check that, win number 17 on the year last night. They come into tonight's contest 17-5-0, good for second place in the South Division. They are 4 points back of the Topeka Roadrunners, but the Roadrunners are idle this weekend. So with another win tonight, the Wildcats would cut that deficit to just 2 points, and they would still have a further 3 games in hand on Topeka. But by the same token, they have to look over their shoulder as well. The Lone Star Brahmas are still red hot. They are still undefeated at the NYTEX Center, where tonight they take on the Rio Grande Valley Killer Bees for the second of a weekend set. They picked up a 4-2 win over Rio Grande Valley last night, thanks to a 3-goal third period did the Brahmas, and they are just 1 point back of the Wildcats, having played one more game than Wichita Falls to date. But for the Wildcats, the most notable part about last night was the secondary scoring. It was a balanced attack. 5 different skaters found the back of the net. 12 different skaters had at least a point in that contest, and 5 different guys had multi-point outings for Wichita Falls. But it was the line that was listed as the fourth line that really was a catalyst last night. The unit of Reisinger on the left, Subri in the middle, and Lazarus on the right wing accounted for 4 goals and 8 total points. Check that. 7 total points in last night's contest, and I asked Coach LaFontaine about that, and he was quick to point out that that was really not the fourth line last night, because they played too well to be considered a fourth line. They were listed as the fourth in name only, is what he told me, and he was really pleased with their effort, and that actually was evidenced by the fact that he started giving those guys time on the penalty kill. Max Reisinger, Paul Subri, not numbers that you'll usually hear called on the Gilmore's Collision Center penalty kill, but last night, up big and wanting to reward their hard work, Coach LaFontaine put them out there, and they gave a fairly good account of themselves. Overall, the Wildcats' penalty kill was strong last night. They did give up a power play goal, but this is a Corpus Christi man advantage that is tops in the league at just under 23.5%. They're 25 for 107 on the year, so it's hard to keep them scoreless. They haven't been held scoreless on the power play in too many games, so the Wildcats did well to minimize damage and kill off 4 of 5 penalties, including a fairly extended 5-on-3. We'll hear John LaFontaine's thoughts on the penalty kill in that coaching interview in the first intermission, but as I mentioned, he was very pleased with the overall effort, and from front to back, top to bottom, in every aspect of the game, last night certainly represented the Wildcats' most complete performance of the year, if not one of the most complete performances of the year. The only one that might challenge it was the 9-1 win over Amarillo, but thinking back to that contest, the Wildcats did have some spells where they were not playing that well, and Amarillo did have a couple of decent looks. Last night, Corpus Christi was never really going to climb back into that contest, even despite a power play goal by Tanner Lomzis in the first period. The Wildcats controlled from start to finish. They'll be looking to do the same thing again here tonight, as they are looking for win number 8 in a row here at the K. Yeager Coliseum. The Wildcats are 15-4-0 all-time at the KYC against the Corpus Christi Ice Rays. They're 26-11-4 all-time total against Corpus Christi, as we are taking our way down towards puck drop between the Wildcats and the Corpus Christi Ice Rays here. Let's get to the starting lineups for Corpus Christi. And as I mentioned, this is an Ice Rays team that has yet to pick up a win on the road. They are 0-7-4 away from the American Bank Center, and they are the only team in the North American Hockey League that has yet to pick up a road win. They are really hurting because of that fact, as they have struggled, as their schedule has tilted from a home-skewed couple of months that they experienced back in September and October to what we're seeing in November and December, and a road-heavy slate for the Ice Rays. As now we'll get into the starting lineups, and we'll start with the forwards. And on the left side, it'll be number 22, Tanner Lomzis. He had the power play goal last night. He has 26 points on 11 goals and 15 assists on the year thus far. Lomzis comes to Corpus Christi out of Red Deer, Alberta. He is a 94 birth year, standing at 6'4", 210 pounds. Center will be Wes Michaud. Michaud wearing number 11, the leading point scorer on this team, although he was held off the score sheet last night. The Wildcats will be hoping to do that again here this evening. On the year, he has 33 points on 12 goals and 21 assists in 26 games played. Michaud, hailing out of Cloquet, Minnesota, has a brother who's currently playing up north with Minot, Bo Michaud, who is also racking up the points, but Wes is the one who the Wildcats have to worry about tonight. On the right wing will be Ryan Kuzin, one of the hotter Ice Rays skaters for the time being. He has 21 points on the year. He's on an 8-game point streak, which is a franchise record. He has 8 goals and 13 assists in 25 games on the year. Kuzin, out of Westland, Michigan, is a 95 birth year, standing at 5'9", 177 pounds. On the blue line for Corpus Christi, it'll be number 4, Anthony Cortez on the right side. He has 23 points on the year, does Cortez, in 26 games played. He leads all North American Hockey League defensemen in scoring. Cortez, out of Pierrefonds, Quebec, stands at 5'10", 181 pounds. And pairing with him will be Trevor Huser, 6 points on the year in 25 games played on 2 goals and 4 assists. Huser is a +4 on the season, wearing number 15. He hails from Farmingdale, New Jersey, stands at 5'11", and 195 pounds. And starting in net for the Ice Rays will be Andrew Lindgren, 10-5-2, a .286 goals against average, a .914 save percentage, but he was pulled last night after having an off night. He gave up 3 goals on 11 shots faced. He'll be looking for a bounce-back performance this evening. Head coach of the Ice Rays is John Buchanan. Brad Flynn is the assistant, as now we'll turn our attention to the starting lineups for your Wichita Falls Wildcats. And we'll start up top on the left side. It'll be number 18, Austin Beaulieu. He was held pointless last night, but the Wildcats picked up the win regardless. Beaulieu out of Coral Springs, Florida, wearing number 18, 5'9", 170 pounds. He has 22 points on the year and is the Wildcats' leading scorer, tied with his line mate Colin Staub. Beaulieu has 11 goals and 11 assists on the year. Tommy Apap is the starting center, 6'2", 180 pounds, out of Bloomfield Hills, Michigan. He had an assist last night, 16 points on the year on 2 goals and 14 helpers for the 96th birth year, wearing number 11. Colin Staub is on the right wing, 6'1", 195 pounds, out of Colorado Springs, Colorado. 22 points on the year, ties him with Beaulieu for the team lead. He's got 7 goals and 15 assists in 22 games. He's been on an absolute tear of late. More on that as the night progresses. On the blue line, Matt Cook will be on the left point, 6'1", 195 pounds, out of Hastings, Minnesota. He has set a new career high in points after he picked up a goal and an assist last night. He's got 18 on the year on 3 goals and 15 assists. And on the right side, it'll be Cam Knight, 6'1", 190 pounds. He also had an assist last night. the future Alabama Huntsville Charger, has 17 points on the year on 5 goals and 12 assists. He stands at 6'1", 190 pounds. And in net tonight, it'll be Austin Shaw, 6'4", 205 pounds, out of Highlands Ranch, Colorado, 10-1-0 on the year with a 2.42 goals against average and a .917 save percentage. His last time out saw him make 28 saves in a win against the Odessa Jackalopes last Saturday. Wildcats coaching staff, John LaFontaine is the head coach in his first season. Chris Saransky, the assistant, in his second season. That's the starting lineups, brought to you by Pelicans Restaurant, located at 2301 Midwestern Parkway, across from Midwestern State University. Pelicans Restaurant offers Texoma the choicest beef, freshest fish, and the area's best wine list. Next time you're in the Falls, be sure to stop by Pelicans Restaurant for fine dining and a friendly family atmosphere. That'll wrap it up for us here on the pregame show. We'll step aside for the national anthem. When we come back, we'll have puck drop here from the K. Yeager Coliseum. Wildcats taking on the Corpus Christi Ice Rays moments away here on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network. Don't go anywhere. Wildcats Hockey presented by Armored Roofing. We'll get going in just a minute. Evening to you from the K. Yeager Coliseum, where the ice is down, the lights are up, and we are just about set for Wildcats hockey. Ben Horner with you, coming to you live from from the K. Yeager Coliseum on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network. Wildcats looking to finish off the weekend sweep of the Corpus Christi Ice Race here tonight. Austin Shaw gets the call for Wichita Falls in the cage to my right as the Cats wear their home white sweaters. Coming back the other way, left to right across your screen, are the Corpus Christi Ice Rays. Andrew Lindgren gets the call again tonight after he was removed last night. As a nice little moment pregame here, Max Reisinger being recognized for his recent selection to the Austrian U20 national team. This is Max's last game before heading back to meet up with the Austrian side. He'll be back for the second half of the season, of course, but it is going to be bon voyage Max for the next few weeks, as now the puck is down. We are underway in the first period, brought to you by American Classified, as the Wildcats are looking to start up in the same way they did last night. Silbury looking to gain the zone. Having to tag up was Lazarus on a delayed offside, as gaining possession here was Connor Kelly. Kelly will look to swoop his way and move up ice. He'll play it off to the left wing side, gaining the zone. It's played back towards the middle, where Townsend will spike it back towards the corner. That one came off the stick of Connor Buches, as Reisinger can't clear this one. Slap shot towards the net, deflects high and gets the glass. Chernyuk swats it away. First to it, playing it towards the front of the net. That was off the stick of Jeska. It's up to the point, back towards the net, deflected, but Chernyuk never let that one get through, as Reisinger will play this one along. Lazarus had some trouble with it. He'll hustle back to meet it on the near side as the Cats are in the midst of a change. Nice job by Lazarus to force the puck down low as the Cats will change up units. Back behind his own net, looking to start things forward is Anthony Cortez. Quick pass along to the near side for Howe to start, and Howe will look to move it up ahead to a forward. Taking a bump there was Michaud. He got separated from the puck, as this will allow APAP to pick this up and chip it down low. He won't win the race of this puck as Spillum has it, but Beaulieu puts him under some pressure. Beaulieu can't win this battle as Kuzin touches it into the neutral zone, only for Staub to fling right back in deep. APAP jabs at it, but can't take it in front of Howe, as Howe looks to move it up ahead as we hit a minute 20 played in a scoreless first period. Headman pass from Chernyuk. There was nobody there. Rather, that was from Cam Knight, as this will be picked up by Howe in his own zone, and he'll swing it back to Spillum to move through the middle. Spillum to Kuzin. Kuzin tries to hit Michaud. Someone got a stick in the way, as this is Farmer. He tries to swivel it out for Sheridan. Might have been a 2-on-1, but instead it's away from everybody, and the Ice Rays will spike it right back in. On the outlet off from the near side off to the far. Farmer had some trouble with it. On a second attempt, Knight will corral and play this into the neutral zone. But once more, the Wildcats will have to start the breakout as back in his own zone. Here is Cam Knight. Behind the cage of Shaw, swept off the kick plate for Matt Cook. As Cook, his outlet pass was into the skates of Albrecht here. Albrecht sidesteps a big hit, maintains possession, and got it up ahead to Farmer. Farmer gains his zone, has some traffic in front, towards the front of the net. Albrecht trying to stick this one along here. He'll get it and look to play it up to the point. Backdoor pass, Farmer, backhander, and he sent it wide of the cage as he had worked himself free. Swept along the blue line. Here's Matt Cook towards the net, high and wide. Off to the far side it goes. Someone is without a stick. That allows Albrecht to work it to Sheridan. Now it's Cook, top of the left circle. Shot wide of the cage. Caraming around there, and it'll be picked up by Kruger, and it will be moved forward by the Ice Rays, and they'll clear the zone. On the stick of Nathan Colwell, and that was a good first shift for the Wildcats here. As we have 17:15 remaining in the first period, we skate 0-0 here from the KYC. Ben Horner with you on FastHockey.com, the Wildcats Broadcast Network. Nice skate here by Yeager to escape one, but now he's forced into a turnover. Is able to work the puck forward, as this is picked up by a teammate in Litviak. Three Wildcat skaters bunch up in the same spot at the blue line. They'll get the puck in deep and try to start up a forecheck. Swung up, here's LeBurn. LeBurn fighting through an illness here. Did he get to the red line? Yes, he did, as Austin Shaw will leave this one along for Shane Kosmeski. Chopped along here, Hinchin will settle and play it up ice to Litviak. Litviak chips off the glass and hustles in after it here, as trying to get towards the front of the net was Jaeger. Litviak pressed into the wall here, but not before he starts a battle for possession. It's swung loose as now Kuzmeski steps down nicely, tries to play it towards the net. Stashes back to the point. Jaeger to the middle of the blue line. Hinchin, his shot. That's blocked off a sprawling man there. That was Brad Liliev sacrificing the body. And the Ice Rays send this one all the way down. Will it go for icing? Yes, it will. 16-16 remaining in the first period. And we get what seems like our first whistle of the period as a good end-to-end start to this contest. We have yet to see any grade A scoring looks. In fact, no shots on goal as of yet, according to the big board here at the KYC. As the faceoff will be to the left of Andrew Lindgren here. First goal, as always, very important. Wildcats have a much better record when scoring first. It's behind the net for Reisinger. Reisinger plays off to the far side. Jamming at it is Subri. It's loose and stashed wide of the cage. Subri can't work his stick free. To the near side it comes for Chernyuk. He'll jab at it, can't force it past the man down low, but Reisinger seals it off on the half wall. Reisinger, his shot looking for the top corner, and he got the glass with it. Townsend picks it up, rolls it down the dasher boards. First to it here, though, was Nathan Breyer. Breyer, now it's Cortez, and now it's Liliev for Corpus Christi, as he'll get to the red line, chip it in deep, and come to the bench for a change. On the cage of Shaw, he'll stick this one along for Chernyuk, who gives it over to Townsend. Townsend has some trouble with it here, but a nice move there to fish it back to himself and give it along to his D partner Chernyuk, who got it along to Lazarus. Lazarus won't play it along for Subri to get it up ahead to Reisinger. Chipped in deep off the right skate of Max as the Cats are in the midst of a change as we tick down towards 5 minutes played in this first period. Played in deep here by the Ice Rays. This will come up short of icing. First of this one here is Cook, as he'll roll it softly along the kick plate, and it's Knight picking this one up and giving a Beaulieu. Nice job by Staub. He'll spin it into the path of Apap, who gains his own. Apap, quick shot and a blocker save there by Lindgren, who lost his twig in the process. Beaulieu on the puck on the near side half wall. He's taken off it as Apap comes along to try to support. Beaulieu, he's stripped by Howe. Nice sweep here by Cam Knight as he tries to hold his own. Staub wasn't able to get his stick to the puck at the blue line as it just skipped over him, as clearing it out there was Mason Kruger. The Wildcats will look to start up the ice once more. Beaulieu, did he get a stick to it? Yes, he did, so no icing here. Apap hustling after this one. He can't win this battle as trying to pull it free in the near side corner was Nick LeBurn. Getting ahead with it here is Wes Michaud. Michaud has Beaulieu draped all over him, gets past him. A shot at the left wing wall, drop pass, looking to pull the trigger, backdoor, looking for Kuzin, but he was tied up by Matt Cook, nicely so, as this is Albrecht looking to hustle along, using his speed. He puts a man Huser under some pressure. Sherzin gets a bump at the blue line. He was fresh from the bench. Kuzin is on the puck for Corpus Christi, but a good stick in the neutral zone disrupts play once more. That was Shane Kuzmeski. He's got a big long reach, one of the longest sticks on this team, as he gets it up ahead to Farmer, who will play it forward, as this will be a penalty upcoming here against the Ice Rays. Sherzin slams on the brakes. He's upended as well, and we'll get the whistle. As we might see two here, actually. There was one coming. There was a slash. Sherzin won't draw a tripping call, but with 13:56 remaining in the first period, the Wildcats will draw the first power play of the contest. They'll head to the man advantage, where they were 1 for 4 on the night last night. Good pace, good open flow to this contest thus far in the first 6+ minutes here from the K. Yeager Coliseum. Ben Horner with you on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network. Face off to the right of Lindgren, the Wildcats' 4th-ranked power play in the league. Goes to work here as Cook plays this cross ice to Sherzin, top of the right circle. Now it's Cook, middle of the blue line. Backdoor pass. He was looking for Litviak there. Litviak is tied up, and this will be hammered the length of the ice. Nice clearance there by the Ice Rays to get things rolling here. 13:40 remaining in the first, and minute 40 remaining in the Wildcats power play. 21.9% on the year on the man advantage are the Wildcats as Sherzin looks to gain the zone. He has the puck at the goal line, plays it towards the middle, bouncing puck there, and it's swept away from the doorstep as Farmer was the closest to it. Now it's Cook, looks to play it down low, back door, it's deflecting around in front. Toe drag here by Farmer to grab possession, played off to Litviak. He had some trouble corralling, settles, and brings it back to the blue line. Now to the near side where Farmer was waiting. Back ambitious pass, now Litviak holding, dusting, back door for Farmer again, shot saved there by Lindgren. Sherzin settles a bouncing puck. He's hit hard into the corner boards there. 13:04 remaining as Litviak will pursue to the far side corner. Pressed in hard to the wall there. Nice play by Nathan Breyer as Sherzin is behind the net. Played up towards the middle of the blue line. Caromed off a skate and all the way into the neutral zone as the Cats will work on a change here. Mason Kruger will put Matt Cook under some pressure here with 50 seconds remaining in the Wildcats power play. Looking to gallop along. Here's Colin Staub through the middle. Now to the left wing side. He'll take it. He'll gain the zone. In the corner, here's Colin Staub on his backhand. Plays off to the far side point. Kuzmeski puts it right back down low where Apap was waiting. Apap, he'll be tied up and brought into the corner, legally so, by Travis Howe, as the Wildcats will look to dig it free in the last 27 seconds of the man advantage. It's Staub going up the wall looking for Kuzmeski. Sealed it off well at the far side point. That kept it from being a 2-on-1 short-handed, but racing away. Here's Nick LeBurn at Kruger in the middle. Here LeBurn still with the puck. Down low into the corner, he'll take it. Beaulieu, good puck support. And finally, LeBurn has his pocket picked as Kuzmeski has the puck in his own zone in the last 5 seconds of this power play for the Cats. Apap got to stick to that, so no icing here. It's in towards the cage of Lindgren as we're back to 5-on-5 hockey. Held here by Staub. Shot, save, rebound. Upended was Apap, and he wasn't able to get on the rebound as we're back to even strength. Mashad trying to get around Townsend. Nice defensive play there by the Highlands Ranch, Colorado native, as this is on the back of the cage of Austin Shaw in the Wildcat zone. Now Townsend goes down to a knee. He's behind the cage, loses out. Kuzin up to the blue line. Near side, here's Cortez. Shot wide of the cage. It was deflected as this is picked up by Staub. He'll hustle it up to the red line. Had his pocket picked as he left it behind. Here's Mashad gaining the zone. Has some space to Kuzin. Backhand effort is blocked, and it didn't get to the cage. Staub played off to the far side. The Ice Rays still have yet to record an official shot on goal in this contest. 11-10 remaining in a scoreless first period. Here's Ryan Kuzin as Corpus Christi tries to respond. Cortez towards the net, saved, swept away. We're going to get a penalty here. It's going to be interference as Mashad is down. I think Shaw is going to be the one getting whistled for the penalty. See who they'll send over to serve it. Either that or it's going to be straight to Townsend. It will be straight to Townsend, it looks like. So Jake will sit for 2 minutes. So the Wildcats come up empty on the power play, and now they're going to have to try and shut down the league's leading power play unit, the Corpus Christi Ice Rays, who are clicking at 23.4% on the year. Face-off, it's cleared out by the Wildcats. They'll roll it all the way down. Cats were 4 for 5 on the Gilmore's Collision Center penalty kill last night. The one goal came on the Ice Rays' first power play opportunity just 10 to 15 seconds in. Racing away, bringing it up ahead. Now putting on the brakes and trying to get it back to the point where the Ice Rays. First onto this one here was Huser. Huser held on a slap shot, gave it over to Liliev. Back to Huser now. His slap shot wide of the cage. Lively carom off the back wall is picked up by Connor Kelly. Now Huser once more. Kelly wants it back top of the circle. Loads a shot, blocked there by Knight. Carom's away to the corner where Liliev waits. Swept along. Were the Wildcats able to clear? Yes, they were. Only as far as the red line, however. Subaru couldn't get the change he wanted. Now Cam Knight will be able to send it the length of the ice, and the Cats and the Ice Rays will change up units. A minute 10 remaining in the penalty to Jake Townsend. As we tick down towards 10 minutes remaining in the first period here, 0-0 the score between the Ice Rays and Wildcats. Gaining the zone here, chopping it past Cam Knight was Lomsness. Flung around to the near side where Mashad will grab it at the half wall. Mashad plays it up to the point. Here's Cortez. Cortez off to the far side, now getting it back. Cortez near side. Mashad flubbed the shot. Puck is loose, and it's swatted away from Kuzin as Oakley is tied up. Couldn't get it clear here. Back up to the point. Mashad still holding on it. Mashad trying to work a shooting lane. Gets it back from Lomsness. Now back to Lomsness once more. Here's Lomsness wheeling towards the middle. His shot is blocked there. Nice body there by Cook, and then Farmer sweeps it the length of the ice. 5 seconds remaining in the power play for the Ice Rays. 9:25 remaining in the first period. Gaining the zone was Lomsness. Drop pass. Here's Cortez, middle of the blue line. Chip past Sherazin. Now wanting a short-handed breakaway. Here's Albrecht all alone in front. Albrecht scores! He beat Lindgren 5-hole. Short-handed tally for Austin Albrecht, and the Wildcats lead 1-0. There was a penalty upcoming after Sherazin was hooked. But Albrecht said, we're not going to wait for this one. Went in, picked up goal number 5 on the year for the New Jersey native, and the Cats lead 1-0. How about that? Not only do you neutralize the league's leading power play, or at least you will in the next 11 seconds, assuming that you hold on to it, but you pick up a goal of your own. Well done by the Wildcats there to pick up a shorthanded tally. As this is brought forward here by Melton, who fanned on his shot and sending this length of the ice, or trying to, with Yeager, but it was only as far as the red line. It's played back in deep. First to it here was Colwell, tied up nicely by Hinchin. Now Kuzmeski rolls it along. Townsend out of the box. We're back to 5-on-5. Hinchin takes a look up at the clock. He had iced this one. He sent it all the way down. Didn't realize the Cats were back at even strength. So they'll be guilty of icing. 8:51 remaining in the first period. They lead 1-0 though after Austin Albrecht picked up goal number 5 on the year. It was a shorthanded tally for the Flemington, New Jersey native, and for the Wildcats, that was shorthanded goal number 3 on the year. Face off to the right of Austin Shaw, who has made 1 save according to point streak. Face-off is tied up, trying to work it free, and from a knee clear it out was Townsend. He couldn't do so. Towards the net, save there by Shaw. It was knocked aside. Now Litviak first to it on the far side wall. Rolled up ahead by Yeager. As trying to get onto this one on the forecheck. It's Yeager on a backhander. Here's Oakley's shot and a save. Sealing off the short side was Lindgren on a broken play on the forecheck. Trying to hold the zone, but not able to do so was Litviak. Here's Cam Knight. He'll spike it right back onto the stick of Litviak. Rather, that was Hinchin. Litviak back in his own zone, looking to find a passing lane. Gave along to Austin Hinchin on the right wing side. He'll play it up the ice for Yeager. Yeager, he'll gain the zone, but then sealed off as he tried to dance around Keenan Spillum. To the near side of Karams, middle of the blue line. Knight down low. Oakley, still Oakley. He ragged to try and put it on his forehand, and it skittered away from him and is cleared down by the Ice Rays. Matt Cook, the first to it here, tries to roll it all the way up the boards to Oakley. Oakley rolled his man off the puck, but picking up the loose disc was Jeska, giving it back to his defensive teammate there, and it's worked forward once more by Connor Butchess. Unable to gain the zone was Butchess. 7:45 remaining in the first period as Beaulieu loses possession of the puck from behind, and it's on the stick of Fuser. Served back to his D partner there. That was Taylor Carl trying to work it free. Now Carl trying to get to the red line and play this one deep. It'll come up short of icing. Here's Kelly gaining the zone. Looking to wrap all the way around in the corner. Kelly left it behind. Trying to get there first was Knight, but Jeska hooked it right back along to Kelly. Kelly still with the puck, trying to sweep it along the blue line. He'll hold, now walking towards the middle. Here's Kelly with a shot that was blocked. Didn't get all the way through as it's held in, however, for Kelly on the near side circle. Kelly now down in the corner, played along behind the net. Trying to walk out in front. Here's Jeska on his backhand. He'll leave it for Cortez, fresh from the bench. Cortez can't dance his way around APAP. Good stick there by the center for the Wildcats as Staub is able to clear the zone. Staub skates with the puck. He'll gain the blue line now, put on the brakes as the Wildcats are in the midst of a change. As Collin flung it towards the near side corner as the Wildcats will shift up manpower. This played all the way down. No icing here. First to this one will be Nick LeBurn, fresh from the bench, but Townsend pressed him in hard to the back wall. No call upcoming as an outlet is up ahead for Reisinger to skate onto. Gaining the zone. Reisinger and a quick shot. Glove save by Lindgren. Lightning quick release from the shot by Max Reisinger. Draws the glove save and a whistle. 6:32 remaining in the first period. The Wildcats are leading 1-0 thanks to Austin Albrecht's shorthanded goal. They have an assist on it for Shane Kuzmeski. Sherazin will have to be credited with an assist as well. So that's point number 10 on the year for Austin Albrecht. That is yet another Wildcat skater in double digits. They have 13 of their 18 skaters in double digits. 13 of their 20 skaters, not including goaltenders, in double digits. As Albrecht becomes the latest guy to join the club. 5 goals, 5 assists on the year. Sherazin, when they credit the assist to him, that'll be point number 20 on the year, making him the third Wildcat to break the double decades mark. 13 goals and 7 assists for Sherazin on the year. Faceoff will be to the left of Lindgren. Shots on goal early in this contest are in favor of the Wildcats, 6-1, 7-1 according to point streak here, as Austin Shaw has not had a whole lot to do here in the opening 13 minutes and change. Just joining us, Max Reisinger will be on the right wing side after he sent a quick wrist shot into the glove of Lindgren. That's how the Wildcats have the offensive zone draw. It's won by the Ice Rays, swept out, but only as far as Cherniuk. Nice stick there by Constantine to keep the Ice Rays from sprinting away. Brendan Murphy, fighting through a lower body injury with teammates hurt, suspended, and ill, will get it along, but Reisinger gains a zone. Now Reisinger drop pass for Lazarus there. It was lost in his skates, as this is Liliev trying to dance his way around Townsend, and Townsend throws him into the Wildcats bench. Nice play there by Jake, but it's only as far as Cortez. We're going to get a whistle here, as Liliev and Townsend have to be separated, and Liliev, well, he'll have 2 minutes to think about what he has done. He'll get 2 minutes for roughing with 6:06 remaining in the first, and the Wildcats will head back to the power play, their second man advantage of the night. They're 0 for 1 thus far. They have a power play goal in 11 straight contests. That's a franchise record. Indeed, for the Wildcats, here's what you need to know about the power play. It started the year 3 for 25. Since then, they are 18 for 71 since the beginning of October. Spiked off the glass, sent all the way down. Townsend hustles back to get it as Lomsness gives the obligatory forecheck while shorthanded. 5:55 remaining in the first period. A minute 50 of power play time upcoming for Wichita Falls, as Austin Albrecht will play this one in deep after getting to the red line. First to it here, though, were the Ice Rays, but it's cleared up and out of play cleanly off the stick of Trevor Huser, number 15, back below the goal line. So the Wildcats will get an offensive zone face-off out of this. 5:45 remaining in the first period. They lead 1-0. Reminder, stick around in the first intermission. We'll hear from Wildcats head coach John LaFontaine. Had a good sit-down with Coach LaFontaine earlier this morning/afternoon. Got his thoughts on last night's 7-1 win, as holding the zone barely, but doing so. It's a backdoor pass for Reisinger from Lazarus in front. Oakley scores! Reisinger sets up Evan Oakley. The Cats have a shorty. Now they have a power play tally. It's 2-0. Oakley swept it home from the top of the crease. After Reisinger set him up, it's 2-0 on the power play tally. And that is now a power play goal in 12 straight for the Wildcats. So keep that count on ticking. The Wildcats continuing to do well on the man advantage after a sluggish start in that regard. Here is Matt Cook in his own zone. He'll play it off to the far side. Now Cam Knight put it right onto the stick of Melton. He'll play it towards the cage of Shaw, who has not had too much to do tonight. If they credit that as a shot on goal, it would be just the second of the night. Towards the net, easily sticked away there by Shaw. Now here is Kruger, looking to go back to the near side where Melton was waiting. It's off his skates, as now Sherzin skates it forward 2-on-2. Here's Sherzin. Albrecht drop pass. Here's the top of the circle. Albrecht couldn't get it back to Sherzin, as this is Farmer playing it down low below the goal line. Sherzin in the corner. Return pass. Here's Farmer, and it was just tied up, as Melton will pick up the loose puck and skate away. Melton gains a zone. Colwell on the back door. Shot goes high and wide of the cage and gets the back glass. First to it here was Brendan Murphy. He'll have it on his backhand, but can't shake it to a teammate, as this is Austin Albrecht playing it to the near side. Farmer canceled his man out and got possession right back. He'll rag with the puck, look to get to the red line, and play this one in deep, as the Cats will start up a change in the last 4.5 of the first. They lead by a pair. Austin Albrecht and Evan Oakley with the goals for Wichita Falls thus far. Someone took a slash there. No call upcoming, as slow to get back to his feet. That's Eric Yeager on the far side. Wildcats are already short manpower tonight. Yeager gets back to his feet and back into the play. Shot, save, rebound is spilled, but swatted away from danger. Follow-up attempt. Hinchin cleared it away. It's still held in here by Connor Kelly in the Ice Rays, though. Puck is still loose down low. Kelly walking in front. It skidded along the blue paint and never got on net. Up to the point, spiking it down low. First to that one where the Ice Rays played in front, where Kelly sent it wide of the cage. Kelly, wraparound chance, loose in the slot. Litviak knocked it away. Penalty upcoming here against the Wildcats, and we'll get the whistle. 3:48 remaining in the first period. We'll get a slashing call. Who is it on? It looks like it's going to be on number 14, Shane Kosmeski. So the Grays Lake, Illinois native, no, check that, it's Eric Yeager. So Yeager looked like he took a slash that was not called, or an errant stick in a sensitive area at the very least. Then to compound his misery, he'll take a penalty here. It's a slashing call, and the Wildcats will head back to the Gilmore's Collision Center penalty kill, their second time tonight on the shorthanded chance. Right off the faceoff, here's Colin Self. Oh, he turned it right over to LeBurn. Here's LeBurn. As Staub thought he had someone behind him for support, but instead it's Machad up to the point in Cortez. To the far side it goes. Kuzin couldn't hold this one, and Staub will send it all the way down. Wildcats penalty kill on the year, 9th in the league. They are now 74 for 86 on the campaign, counting that first effort that Corpus Christi had that went by the wayside earlier in the period. That's just over 86% on the year as the puck is loose behind the cage of Shaw. Now it's LeBurn. Tries to play it off to Lomsness. Lomsness along to Kuzin now on the far side. Below the goal line with it is LeBurn. Here's LeBurn looking to shake it out in front. Up to the blue line it goes. Cortez off to the far side once more. Now Cortez gets it back. He'll hold on a shot. To the near side, Machad top of the circle. Cortez one-timer blocked in front. Backhander. That was LeBurn. He wasn't able to stick it up the ice. Cook goes down awkwardly as Apap picks up a loose puck and sends it the length of the ice as LeBurn is gingerly getting his way back to the bench, not putting much weight on that right leg at all. Reisinger getting some time on the penalty kill. Second night in a row we've seen Maxwell shorthanded as the Cats have another 50 seconds to kill off on the slashing minor to Yeager. 2:35 remaining in the first. This one towards the cage of Shaw. He'll just swallow it up with a big glove in the chest protector and get the whistle. 2:32 remaining in the first. Wildcats leading 2-0. Austin Albrecht from Kevin Sherizan at 10:45 of the first. Evan Oakley on the power play from Max Reisinger and Jake Townsend. Make it 2-0 and give the Cats a power play goal in 12 straight. That's where we stand. Falconer, by the way, is a scratch tonight. This one's skipping up to the blue line, but it's held in by Huser. Off to the left wing side. Kelly plays it down low into the corner. Back to Kelly, top of the circle. Held on a slapper. Now it's Huser. Slap shot blocked in front as Townsend will slam this all the way down the ice. 2:15 remaining in the first. By the way, just to finish that up, Falconer a scratch tonight with an upper body injury. It has been deemed precautionary by the Wildcats coaching staff, as this is Connor Kelly gaining the zone on the right wing side, and he'll play it towards the corner. Townsend the first to it there. He'll roll it off to the far side boards, but it'll be held in here by Huser. Townsend sticks it away from Liliev, but not before it's picked up by Butches. Back up to Kelly on the far side half wall. Farmer takes him off it. Now Townsend will roll this one around. Could be a 2-on-1 shorthanded here for the Wildcats. As gaining the zone, here's Farmer. Farmer, right circle, holding in a toe drag there, was knocked away by Huser as he was sprawled out. Sherizan disrupts the play. Albrecht was the man up there with Farmer as this one is brought forward by Butches. Left wing side, his shot is gloved out and held by Austin Shaw with 1:31 remaining in the first period. Quick period here at the K. Yeager Coliseum. The Wildcats leading 2-0. Ben Horner with you on PatsHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network. Shots on goal. Favor the Wildcats 8-2. Might be 8-3 now, but either way, it has been another period this weekend that has seen the Wildcats carry the play. The 2-0 lead that they are currently enjoying is certainly deserved, as this is Austin Beaulieu, as we're skating 5-on-5, as Staub will bring this one up ahead in the last 90 seconds of the first period. Staub, far side wall. He'll spin it down low for Beaulieu. Apap couldn't collect this pass, as this is Cook on the near side half wall. Left nicely along for Staub, but Staub rolled it away from himself, had to chase it back into the neutral zone and play it along to Cam Knight. We tick down towards the last minute of play in the period, brought to you by La Quinta Inns and Suites. Staub couldn't reach Beaulieu with this pass, as this is picked up by Cam Knight, and he'll retreat back into his own zone and play it along for Cook. Cook will sweep this forward. Ladled softly ahead. It'll come up short of icing. Beaulieu can't win this battle for the loose puck, but Frankie Melton will for the ice race, and he'll swoop it back up the ice with 45 ticks remaining in the frame. He'll get to the red line, play it into the glove of Shaw. Shaw puts this right back into play for Cam Knight. Knight spins up the ice, sidesteps a big hit there from Colwell, and skates on. Here's Knight, gaining the zone, puts on the brakes. Here's Yeager now. Yeager, backhander for Oakley in front, and Litviak fanned on an open cage on the left side. Now it's Oakley, unable to hold the zone. Townsend will take it in the neutral zone and chip it off the boards for Oakley to gain once more. 20 seconds remaining as Oakley gains the zone, plays it in front, and they score. It's Eric Yeager. Oakley turns provider, an even strength goal. The Wildcats have won in every fashion, and they lead 3-0 with 17.2 remaining in the first. Yeager will grab goal number 3 on the year for him as he turned home Oakley's pass from the wall. It is 3-0, and we'll see if they let Pickar take over this one in the second period. Back to play at the end of the first period here, as settling it in his own zone was Paul Subri. And Chernyuk, now Townsend in the last 8 seconds, turned over here. Now it's Kuzin, now Mashad, and he fanned on the shot, and making a toe save there was Shaw. That would have changed the complexion of the second period, but as it was a toe save by Shaw, and it's a 3-0 lead for the Wildcats at the end of the first period as the horn sounds to end a strong 20 minutes of action for Wichita Falls. Shots on goal in that first frame, 9-3 in favor of the Wildcats. Goals from Albrecht, Oakley, and Yeager in the frame as the Wildcats up by a trio. We'll step aside and break it all down on the other side of the break, and we'll also hear from Wildcats head coach John LaFontaine on his thoughts on last night's game and what the Wildcats were going to have to do to carry on in a positive way with that momentum. All that and more on the other side of the break here on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network. Wildcats Hockey presented by Armored Roofing continues just after this from the Kay Yeager Coliseum. Yeager Coliseum, Ben Horner with you on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network. A good 20 minutes of action here from the KYC to get things going if you're a Wildcats fan. 3-0, the Cats hold the lead. Austin Albrecht, Evan Oakley, and Eric Yeager have the goals for Wichita Falls. A shorthanded tally, a power play tally, and an even strength marker at 19:43 of the first period is where we stand. The Wildcats were all over Corpus Christi from the opening faceoff, 9-3 with the shots on goal in that frame. That's not indicative of the way that period went, however, because it was until about the 10-minute mark before Corpus Christi even recorded their first shot on goal. And basically, what we saw in that first period was that the Wildcats did exactly what head coach John LaFontaine told me this morning that he wanted to see them do heading into tonight's contest as they look to build off of last night's big 7-1 win. Now we'll hear his full thoughts as I was joined this morning by Wildcats head coach John LaFontaine as he talked with me about last night's big win and how the Wildcats could keep the momentum going here tonight. Here, Wildcats fans, and I am joined now by Wildcats head coach John LaFontaine as the Wildcats look to wrap up a clean sweep of the weekend against the Corpus Christi Ice Rays tonight. John, last night's game went about as well as a hockey game can go for your team. 7-1 win, and it was a game that they really controlled from start to finish. What were your general takeaways from last night's contest?
One of the best parts of our game, I just felt after watching film, was our angling. Some goals early. Their goalie probably wanted a couple of those back because a couple of them were from below the goal line. He was facing the wrong way. But the guys worked hard. We put a lot of shots on them. We skated them. But the encouraging part of the game was the guys playing defense, the commitment to defense, the angling, and being able to get back, not standing still. Because of that, the work ethic on defense, we weren't in our end very much, and because of that, we were a tough team to play against. They didn't have a lot of time and space to make plays, and that's what they need to be successful as a team, which every team needs. So you get a lead, and now you got to try to get the other team's got to try to kind of put some pressure on to get back, and when they didn't have much room, I think.
About controlling the game and not spending a lot of time in the defensive zone. The shots on goal officially in the box score in that second period were 19-2 in favor of the Wildcats. Have you ever seen anything quite so one-sided in one period like that?
Maybe not 19-2. So no, normally it could be 15-5, but the guys did a really strong job of protecting the frustrated them because we got a lot of turnovers in the mid zone and capitalized on the other end. So it was not just one line. All the lines were contributing last night, which was great. And the defensive core was moving the puck quick and making plays.
You mentioned that all the lines were scoring, and it's perhaps a hockey coach's favorite two-word phrase, secondary scoring, John. The quote-unquote fourth line, the line of Lazarus, Reisinger, and Subri, of the Wildcats' 7 goals. What does that do when you're getting scoring like that from top to bottom?
Well, they weren't our fourth line. I mean, they started out that way, but the way they played, they were as good as a first line, and they played like that. We've got so much depth up there. It was really encouraging to see Paul and Subri and Laz and the way they played together. Didn't start last night. I think you might have mentioned this, Ben. Last weekend, they had a really good Saturday game, and we had a good win. Got out to a 5-0 lead. Those guys were some of the reasons that we got out to a 5-0 lead, and then they were the reason we got out to an early lead in last night's game. They got the pucks and they got it to the net, and they were playing very, very committed defensively. Coach, when they're playing like that, you feel so comfortable with them. All of those guys got an opportunity on a penalty kill, which they haven't had as much time for. I mean, it's one of those trust things as a coach. You want to see that they read the ice and understand because penalty killing is so important. They all showed that they could do that, and really shut the other teams down.
Last Saturday, there was an interesting last period and a half or so where a 5-0 lead became a 5-4 edge. Was there ever any worry last night? It never really seemed like the Wildcats took their foot off the pedal.
The only time, Ben, that there was a little bit was when they scored so quickly on their power play. And we had worked so hard this week because we They felt like we scouted their power play. We changed our penalty killing up, which isn't always a good thing, but we changed it completely up. Felt that we had a good plan against their high potent power play, and scored so quickly like they did. There was concern, but the guys from then on really did a good job forcing them to have outside shots and then not getting any.
Overall, were you pleased with the penalty kill? Went 4 for 5 on the night, had an extended 5-on-3 kill. Positive experience.
Yes, very, very much so. Other than the first one, and the first one was we just got tied up. We tied up with our men, and we didn't get out. We let them get right into our. I mean, they had their shots were inside the dots when our goal was to keep them outside. And after the first one, I think the guys kind of corrected themselves and learned from it.
And did a great job after that. Let's talk real quick about the play of Collins. Recently, he's got points in 8 of his last 9 games. He's got 8 points over his last 5 games, 12 over his last 10. What has he been bringing to the lineup night in and night out?
So smart, Ben. He's such a smart hockey player. You rarely ever see him make a poor decision or give the puck up. But the puck through the mid zone. He reads the ice so well. He knows when to give it up. It's hard to get the puck from him because he's shifty. He's got speed. He all of a sudden it doesn't look like he's going, and then he's driving wide and beating guys. He just rarely makes mistakes out there, and he's got the work ethic of a power forward and skill of a skilled forward. So it's been really exciting to see him confidence as a player and
veteran who's had a nice resurgence in the last couple of months. Ben Horner talking with Wildcats head coach John LaFontaine. And John, let's look forward to tonight's contest. Obviously, an effort like that is very difficult to replicate. How do you go about ensuring that your team comes out trying to better that performance?
Yeah, that's the secret. How do you beat a team the second night when you know that their pushback is going to be pretty strong? They don't have a road win yet. Obviously, their coach is probably challenging them pretty tough last night and today. They want to get that monkey off their back as far as not having a road win. We're going to see their best effort tonight, and so our first 10 minutes are going to be huge tonight, and our commitment to play. At the end of the game last night, we killed penalties, but we still played strong D. Guys weren't poking and going and cheating, and so we try to emphasize that with them. If you put the effort in on the defensive side of the puck and you play 200 feet, and you don't give them much time, then we can have success tonight again. If we try to think that it's going to be as easy as it was last night, then we're going to be in
John, thanks so much for your time. That'll do it for us here, as we'll step aside. When we come back, we'll have the Jerry Sporting Goods out-of-town scoreboard report on the intermission report. You're listening to Wildcats Hockey, presented by Armored Roofing on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network.
Coach LaFontaine speak about it just a moment ago. He wants to see the Wildcats play physical, play hard-hitting hockey, and play good controlled hockey in their defensive zone, and not start cheating and not start getting into the poke and go. That's a little bit of what happened last Saturday when that 5-0 lead became a 5-4 advantage. The Wildcats did hold on to that win, no harm, no foul, against Odessa last Saturday night. But as they're up 3-0 here this evening, and they closed out a 7-1 win last night, they'll be looking to make sure that they take this one from wire to wire and close this one out. Still 40 minutes of hockey, though. A lot of time left to play in this contest. Let's take a look at what else is going on the goings-on outside here the outside of Wichita Falls on the Jerry Sporting Goods out-of-town scoreboard as we'll whip around the North American Hockey League. We'll start in Pennsylvania, where Keystone is wrapping up a home series against the Michigan Warriors. Ice Miners tied for a league-best 4-game win streak right now after just having one win in their previous 7 games. They had a 3-0 win last night. They are in the second period there in Pennsylvania, still scoreless. In Cooley Region, the Chill up 2-1 over the Kenai River Brown Bears. Cooley Region took a 6-4 win last night. They are 4-1-0 in their last 5 contests and currently lead through 20 minutes of action. They're through 20 in Janesville, Wisconsin. The Eagles and the Jets won apiece there. Janesville had the win last night, a 6-3 triumph over the Sioux, who are, yes, they are second in the North Division, just a few points behind the Janesville Jets. But the caveat with that is they have the 4th most losses in the league, and they have played the most games of any team in the North American Hockey League. So at a certain point, things are going to start evening out, and the other shoe is going to have to drop for the Sioux Eagles. In Austin, it's 0-0 between the Bruins and the Minnesota Wilderness. The Wilderness currently on a 6-game, or they had a 6-game win streak snapped last Saturday with an overtime loss to Bismarck. Meanwhile, Austin, on the other hand, has won 3 straight after a 7-3 win last night, scoreless through 20 minutes in Austin, Minnesota. In Aberdeen, 1-0 with the Wings leading over the Brookings Blizzard. They're through 20 minutes there. Aberdeen last night lost 3-2 to the Bismarck Bobcats in a shootout. The Brookings Blizzard were idle last night, although they did lose to Minot on Thursday. They are 2-6-2 in their last 10, and as they currently sit bottom in the Central Division, they need to start picking up some points if they don't want to find themselves losing distance in the playoff push before we even hit the new year. Minot will play host to the Bismarck Bobcats. That one will get underway in just about 15 minutes. Now for what's going on in the South Division. In Odessa, it is 0-0 between the Amarillo Bulls and the Jackalopes. They're through 20 minutes there at the Ector County Coliseum. Amarillo posted a 4-3 comeback win last night, thanks to a good surge in the second period and early third. And Odessa had some penalty troubles there, and same story for the Jacks. They weren't able to hold on to the lead or finish off the comeback. And at the NITEX Center, the Brahmas putting their perfect home record on the line once more tonight. They picked up a 4-2 win over the Rio Grande Valley Killer Bees last night thanks to a 3-goal third period. They're currently up by a pair. 2-0 is the score halfway through the first period there in North Richland Hills. That'll wrap up the Jerry Sporting Goods out-of-town scoreboard, and with that, that'll wrap up the intermission report. We'll step aside. When we come back, we'll have the second period of action. Can the Wildcats expand upon their 3-0 lead? Stick around and find out. Out of the break. Wildcats Hockey presented by Armored Roofing continues just after this on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network. Minutes of hockey in the books, 40 minutes still ahead here from the K. Yeager Coliseum as we're getting ready to start the second period of action between the Ice Rays and your Wichita Falls Wildcats. Ben Horner with you on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network. No carryover power plays or penalties to speak of, so we'll start this second period 5-on-5. Two teams will change ends naturally, so now Lindgren is in the cage to my right, Shaw in the cage to my left. Lindgren, I thought, might have been relieved after a late goal in that first period with just 17 seconds remaining. But fact of the matter is, Luke Pickar is sick, and he probably gave just about everything he had to offer on the weekend last night, relieving Lindgren halfway through the first period. Still a lot of hockey left to get through here, as it will be to go against, looks like Wes Michaud. No, it'll be Subri to go against Nathan Breyer in the faceoff. We're skating 5-on-5. Wildcats leading 3-0, looking to stretch their advantage here. As the puck is down for the second period of action, we're underway. Brought to you by American Classified, as controlling off the faceoff for the Ice Rays. This sun all the way down deep. Kuzmeski the first to it here. He'll wrap it off the glass, and Lazarus tries to chip it out. Subri can't jab this one free. On a second effort, Lazarus pokes it loose, and sidesteps a big hit. Couldn't get it loose. Arms away, off to the near side it comes, as this is picked up and played behind the net by the Ice Rays. Back to the near side, trying to pursue is Breyer, but Reisinger was the first to it. Nice pass through some traffic as he'll work it up to Lazarus. Lazarus chips it through a couple and will play it right on net and try and split the D, but covering up was Andrew Lindgren. We'll get our first whistle of the period, 32 seconds gone, as the Wildcats lead 3-0 here from the KYC. Ben Horner with you. Thanks for making this a part of your Saturday night. Let's get you a couple of numbers here to give you some context on this second period. Wildcats, when scoring the first goal, are 12-1-0 on the year and are 7-0-0 when leading after one, as Cook plays this towards the net, deflected there by Staub, but able to knock it aside was Lindgren. Beaulieu has his lid knocked off. Second time in a couple of games that Beaulieu has had some trouble keeping his bucket on. Either way, it's in the neutral zone where bringing it up ahead. Here's Apap, now Beaulieu, and Beaulieu had his stick tied up and couldn't work the puck free. Beaulieu can't reach this one as it caromed around. Lomsness trying to walk through the middle. Has Kuzin off to his right. He'll use him. Kuzin towards the middle. Shot blocked there. Following up here is Michaud. Michaud upended. Puck loose, and Shaw makes the save. Delayed penalty upcoming. Kuzin loading shot. Blocker saved there by Shaw. Very sharp effort from Austin. And touching up is Staub. So, the Wildcats will be shorthanded once more. Third time tonight. They're 2 for 2 on the Gilmore's Collision Center penalty kill thus far, but there's only so many times, as Beaulieu skates over to the box, there's only so many times that you can let the league's best power play get an opportunity before they're going to burn you. Playing the Wildcats, when I mentioned when leading after one, are 7-0-0. The Ice Rays, when trailing after the first, are 0-6-2, and they have yet to win a game that they don't score the first goal. Rather, they have won one game that they have not scored the first goal in, but that one game was against the Wildcats back on October the 30th, as this is Cook working the puck free and sending it nicely all the way down. 18:30 remains in the second period. Wildcats holding a lead by 3-0, but sitting in the box for the next few minutes. They're turned over. Oakley shorthanded bid, and getting a piece of it was Lindgren. I believe that tipped off the top of his big catching glove. A turnover led Oakley for a grade A opportunity from about the KFDX logo just above the top of the face-off circles in the middle of the ice. Cats are shorthanded for 1:33 as Beaulieu serves 2 minutes for tripping at 1:12, but the Cats do have an offensive zone face-off, though. Curse of the commentator there, it's won cleanly by the Ice Rays. The Cats are all right with that as they'll set up in the neutral zone on this penalty kill. Gilmore's Collision Center penalty kill in effect here as it's hammered around to the near side. Pulling it off the wall, this was Breyer looking to walk down low at the goal line in the corner. He'll spin it back up to the point where Kelly wants it. Kelly trying to step inside Farmer, now walks it back to the point, middle of the blue line. Huser gave it right back to Kelly, loading shot off a leg, save, rebound, it's loose. Trying to pull the trigger was Butchess. Good active stick there by Austin Shaw with a big paddle, and Kuzmeski picks up the loose disc, hammers it off the boards and down. Austin Shaw hasn't been too busy tonight thus far, as this is sent down by the Wildcats, not all the way, but he was alert there with his stick to keep that one from becoming a more dangerous opportunity as this one skitters towards Shaw. He'll cover up, freeze, get the whistle. 17:32 remaining in the second period. Wildcats up 3-0, but they're short-handed on the Gilmore's Collision Center penalty kill for the next 45 seconds. Leading power play is going to work right now. Corpus Christi on the year, including the first two tonight. 25 for 109. Here's Cortez. Shot saved there by Shaw. Nice easy save for Austin. Not too much traffic there. And he'll track that all the way into the body and hold on. 17:27, and we'll do it all again. Eric Yeager looks like he'll get out to take a shift. That's nice to see after Yeager was a little bit ginger getting back to his feet after he had taken a whack with a stick somewhere that went unnoticed at the tail end of that first period. He'll center this draw. It's to the left of Shaw. Off to the far side corner it goes. Staub will wire it back to the near side, and it skips over the stick of Anthony Cortez and will leak all the way down the ice. Out of his cage to leave it there. Michaud steps onto it, head full of steam, past Staub. Can't get past APAP. Fights through the check, but is separated from the disc. Loose puck is on the stick of Cam Knight, who is now tied up against the wall. Knight pops it high up into the air, well high up into the air, bounces down. APAP tries to knife away from the ice race, up to the point for Cortez. Cortez slap shot wide of the cage, as that might have gotten a leg in front. Staub trying to work it loose on the far side. Last second of the power play as the Wildcats are now 3 for 3 on the PK. Out of the box, here is Beaulieu. Fresh from the penalty box, Beaulieu gains his own. Knight trailing play. Shot, scores! Cam Knight from Austin Beaulieu, fresh from the sin bin. The Cats kill off the penalty, and they lead 4-0. Lindgren protesting half-heartedly, saying Beaulieu wasn't on the ice when he touched that puck. He was, says the referee Menard, and the Cats lead by 4. Knight wired it into the back of the net from Beaulieu's feet along the blue line. It's now 4-0 Wildcats as Beaulieu picks up point number 23 on the year. And picking up point number 18 on the year was Cam Knight on goal number 6. Worked loose by the Cats once more. Could be a 3-on-2. Farmer gets around one man, but he left it behind. This is an onside play as Townsend works it into the corner. Farmer in front. Albrecht had his stick tied up. Cherniak back towards the middle. Karams to Farmer. Loading shot, save. Rebound, backhand effort from Farmer. He'll hold on it. Tries to play it up to the point. Splits the D and goes down. Shaw will quickly motor this one along to Townsend, who will look to lumber ahead. Townsend chip forward, offside here where the Cats still have to tag up as Sheridan couldn't hold the blue line before the puck entered the zone. All the way down the ice on the net of Austin Shaw. I thought I heard a whistle. We'll play on here as icing was obviously washed out as it was on net. This is touched towards the middle. Following up here after Jesko went down. Shot blocker saved there by Shaw as Yeager can't kick this one free. Butchess towards the net. Connor Butchess can't get that shot past Yeager's skate. Townsend tries to roll this softly along the kick point there. Now he'll step free. Back to the near side he comes. He'll give it to Albrecht as Albrecht looks to ramp this ahead. Sheridan was leaking out, looking for a breakaway. Look out, this one skies well out of play. And we'll get the whistle. 15:21 remaining in the second period. The Cats now lead 4-0. Cam Knight's 6th goal of the year has given them this 4-goal edge. The sole assist for right now is Austin Beaulieu. That'll have to be adjusted. I believe Colin Staub was the guy who played it up to Beaulieu, who was fresh out of the box. We'll check that after the fact. If that is an assist for Staub, that gives him and Beaulieu 23 points on the year. Those two vie for the team lead. And Colin Staub continues to be one of the hottest Wildcats going right now, as this is Oakley tumbling down to the ice but gaining the zone. He one-handed the puck along but couldn't corral it cleanly, as now Butchess will skate forward. His shot saved and held by Shaw, and we'll get the whistle. 15:09 remaining in the second, and we're seeing some more rubber on the cage of Austin Shaw this period, but thus far, he's been equal to the task. Face-off will be to his left. Ben Horner with you, FastHockey.com, the Wildcats Broadcast Network. The location for this one, the KYC, where we're coming to you from, as this is One back by Corpus Christi. Huser wants it. Slap shot. Holds on it. Now it's Kelly. Shot saved there by Shaw. Might have hit him in the dome, but it went up and high and got the glass. Wildcats will work this loose as motoring it forward. Here's Oakley. Nice move by Oakley. Gaining the zone as Litviak held the blue line. Played towards the middle there. Jaeger couldn't get there first. Intercepting and starting it up the ice. Here come the Ice Rays. This is Jessica. Shot. Steered aside there by Shaw. Then he's upended. Big collision. No whistle ensues as they ruled that Hinchin knocked himself into Shaw. Here's Shane Kosmeski. Ice for Litviak. Litviak gains his zone, trying to walk around one man. Goes down to the ice. He's at the end of his shift. He'll tie up here and try to jab it along for Reisinger, fresh from the bench. Now it's Litviak working it free. Spins away. Now steps away from another check and left it there for Jaeger. Jaeger tied up below the goal line. Reisinger will look to get involved as well. This chipped around. Cook wasn't prepared for this one. Penalty upcoming here, and it's against the Wildcats. Cook touches up. It'll be a roughing call. Jaeger knew it. He'll head right to the box. And the Cats will be shorthanded for the fourth time tonight. I'll say it again. They're 3 for 3 on the Gilmore's Collision Center penalty kill, but this Ice Rays unit is the best in the league. There's only so many times that you can give them opportunities before you're going to get burned. So Jaeger's second penalty of the contest, and it might not look it when you talk to him, but Eric Jaeger does have a little bit of a mean streak in him. We saw it last night. He can get nasty when he has to. And that nastiness will cost him 2 minutes here. 14:05 remaining in the second. The Wildcats on the Gilmore's Collision Center penalty kill for the fourth time tonight. Here's Reisinger chipping it all the way down low. Cortez will be the first to it here. And Reisinger getting more time on the PK will set up on the forecheck just in front of the cage of Lindgren. Lindgren was watching there. Either way, Michaud will move this one forward. Toe drag there. Can't get around Kosmeski. Nice job there by Shane to ride him off it. Max is chopping that at this one on the far side. Unable to work it loose quite yet. Now, on a second look, it's still held by Lomsness. Bouncing puck. Worked free. Reisinger trying to step away. Has one man to beat. Cortez hustling back. Reisinger at the end of his shift will slow up. Serve it back to Kuzmeski to try and kill off some more time. The far side, this is Kosmeski chipping it around one. Now he'll step forward shorthanded. Couldn't touch it past Liliev there. Nice recovery by the forward for the Ice Rays. He'll pick up the puck and look to move forward. Pass onto the stick, barely onside. Kuzin shot, saved there by Shaw. Rebound is kicked aside there by Lazarus, and he'll clear all the way down. Nice play there by Laz to settle it and swat at the length. 13 minutes remaining in the second period, as the Wildcats lead 4-0 and are shorthanded for the next 45 seconds on the Gilmore's Collision Center penalty kill. Racing up the ice with a head full of steam there was Kelly. He got around Matt Cook. Knight will be the first to this one. A couple of Ice Rays collide there, as this will allow someone to pick it up. Someone is hurt down low. Just getting back to his feet was Connor Kelly. The Ice Rays can ill afford to lose any more bodies, as this is Bolio going one-on-one shorthanded. Bolio taking it wide. At the circle, his shot, and he flashed it wide of the left-hand post. 12:25 remaining in the second. Wildcats shorthanded for another 15 seconds. Gaining the zone. Onside play. Kuzin shot. Rather, it was a backdoor play. He was looking for Butchess, and it came up short. Now Lazarus at the end of his shift, shorthanded. 3-on-2, shorthanded for the Cats. Beaulieu drops it back for Knight. Back for Lazarus, and he couldn't pull the trigger. Out of the box is Eric Jaeger rushing up the ice. Here's Liliev. Jaeger joining the play. Liliev shot off the stick of Cook, and it goes away to the far side. Beaulieu will pick up this one. Lost it in some skates. He'll get it right back, and from the red line, play it in deep. Another good kill for the Wildcats. That's now 4 for 4, as the Ice Rays have been held scoreless on the power play as we tick down towards the halfway mark in this contest. Cats leading 4-0 here. Konstantin Cherniuk played along to the near side. Townsend plays right back for Cherniuk as those two play catch, and coming up the ice was Farmer. Farmer wheels through the neutral zone, gets around one man and another. Farmer on his backhand and put it through the blue paint. Townsend at this near side half wall, sent down for Sherizan in the corner. Sherizan trying to walk up to the top of the face-off circle. He lost the handle on the puck. Colwell will play it along to Frankie Melton. Melton has it poked away from him by Cherniuk, as this is Townsend looking to wheel it up the ice. Sherizan was waiting there for a headman pass as it's loose in the neutral zone. Once more, the Ice Rays bring it in onside. Loading for a shot, then playing it off to the far side was Brendan Murphy. Shaw will cover up the loose puck, and we'll get a whistle. 11:03 remaining in the second. Cats leading 4-0. Shots on goal have evened up in this second period, thanks in part to 2 power play opportunities for the Ice Rays, but the Cats have the only goal in the period thus far. Cam Knight from Austin Beaulieu at 3:22 of the second. As that one had transpired right after the Wildcats had killed off a penalty. Austin Beaulieu. Nice skate here by Matt Cook. He'll step away and play it off to the left wing side. Back towards the middle. Shot save. Loose puck. It's steered away there by Lindgren as Machad will look to motor it ahead. He'll get past Yeager. Plays towards the middle. Nice block there by Cam Knight. Bouncing puck. Loose at the near side. Jamming forward here. The ice raise. And a glove save by Sean Kuzin as he took a swat at it. 10:38 remaining in the second. Austin Shaw didn't have a whole lot to do in the first, but he's been a busier guy here in the second, and he's been equal to the task thus far. 10:38 remaining in this second frame. Cats still leading by 4-0. Off to the left of Mr. Shaw, whose father Dave has made the trip down this weekend. Down with Pat Townsend, father of Jake, as here is Colin Staub escaping the hacking and harrying of a back checker here, and Hinchin will play this one in. Comes up short of the goal line as Howe is back to grab this one. Plays it all the way up the ice. Having some trouble with it there was Kuzmeski. No icing here, as first back to it here was Austin Hinchin. Hinchin having a fairly strong game thus far, as Kuzmeski's pass was ambitious, gets knocked aside. Hinchin will give it right back to Kuzmeski, who will give it up ahead to Beaulieu. Beaulieu at the red line, he'll chip it in deep on his backhand. APAP can't win the race of this one. Lost an edge as stepping free or the ice race. Turned over here, it hit Beaulieu in the backside, but he couldn't find the puck and hold his own as Kuzmeski has it. Upended there briefly was Reisinger's nice step here by Townsend to step forward. He'll give to Reisinger, loading his shot blocked there, and that one stung a man Huser. On it is Reisinger, plays it back towards Townsend. Townsend with a backhand effort as he tumbled down to the ice. Worked its way along to APAP near side. Now it's Lazarus. Lazarus trying to walk up this near side half wall. Ramped off the glass. Subri, fresh from the bench. Hadn't noticed him too much this period as it's loose in the neutral zone. Chernyuk quickly along to Lazarus. Onside once more. Lazarus backdoor. Reisinger saved there by Lindgren. Turned over once more. Townsend, middle of the blue line. Looks to shake towards the net. Now it's Lazarus at the left wing circle. Chernyuk, one-timer and a toe save there by Lindgren. Good move there and a great left pad effort from Lindgren. As for the first time, really, we see Chernyuk rip the puck. And boy, can that kid shoot when he gets all of it. That one goes up and out of play. 9:07 remaining in the second period. The Cats still leading 4-0 here and starting to buzz a little bit there. Good response shift after killing off a couple of penalties there for the Wildcats. 4 for 4 on the Gilmore's Collision Center penalty kill against the league's top power play is Wichita Falls thus far tonight. They're 1 for 2 on the power play themselves, as that is a power play goal in 12 straight for the Cats. As they continue to stretch their franchise record in that regard. Still ways to go in this one yet, but were the Wildcats to pick up a win here tonight, and as I mentioned, still about 30 plus minutes to get through before you can chalk this one up in the win column, it would tie a franchise record for longest home winning streak, a mark set back in the 07-08 campaign. Wildcats have won 7 straight at the KYC, looking for 8 in a row here tonight. Faceoff will be to the right of Lindgren, who has looked sharp in this second period, sharper anyway. Shots on goal, 15-13 according to the big board here at the KYC as we're coming out of a media timeout. Looks like it'll be Subri, Reisinger, and Lazarus to stay out there with Townsend and Chernyuk. We'll have highlights from last night's contest, and we'll also have a quick chat with Max Reisinger, who after tonight's game thus far has had a fairly strong weekend. After tonight's game, he'll go to join up with Austria, leaving tomorrow morning, is Max, as this is loose in the neutral zone and finally picked up by LeBurn. LeBurn can't walk his way around Chernyuk. Chernyuk ties his man up. Sweeping at it here was Subri. He'll get it in his own corner. Swan it around to the near side. Reisinger pokes at it. Has to be careful not to get into that poke and go a little bit here and play good hard work along the wall. LeBurn tries to shake inside Reisinger. Reisinger pokes it loose 2-on-1. Lazarus to his left. Here's Reisinger. His drop pass, and it was Townsend who tried to skate onto a loose puck as Lazarus chips this one back to the blue line. Chernyuk held it in, but as he was tumbling down to the ice, he couldn't sweep it along, as this is Liliev playing this one in. Be the first to it there. It was a 2-on-1 and then partial 3-on-1 for the Cats, but a good defensive stick there from someone on an Ice Rays sweater disrupted that just enough as Reisinger was trying to go cross for Lazarus at the top of the left circle. Here's the aforementioned Lazarus looking to wheel up the ice now as the Cats are in the midst of a change with 8 minutes remaining in the second period. Albrecht will hustle in after this one. First of it was Brendan Murphy. He'll play it softly back to the near side corner where Caldwell waits. He'll retrieve, play it right back for Murphy. Got lost in the skates of Bernard momentarily as this is worked loose in front Farmer, and he popped it high and wide as he had to drop to the knee to try and lift that one over Lindgren. Puck bounced forward. Nice stick there by an alert Matt Cook. As gaining the zone are the Ice Rays. Left behind here by Kruger, and it's forced up to the wall once more. Colwell for the Ice Rays. Spun towards the middle. Kruger, his slap shot blocked there by Cook. Sherazen picks this one up. He'll retreat behind the safety of Shaw's cage and work it up ahead where Albrecht works it free. Farmers steps to the red line. Tries to slip the puck in deep. Second effort, Albrecht comes along and does just that with 7:10 remaining in the second period. Step out from behind their own net are the Ice Rays in the form of Anthony Cortez as the Cats still hold a 4-0 lead in this second period here from the KYC. Here's Matt Cook trying to touch this one away from danger. Still on the puck. Here's Melton, and his shot is saved. Knocked away from danger. And first onto this one are the Ice Rays. They'll hold his own. Glove down for Melton. Trying to shake his way past Eric Yeager. Instead, it's a two-a-side battle that sees Yeager glove this one down. Might have been whistled for closing his hand on the puck. Instead, it's on the blade of Cam Knight. He'll rag back and now look to start up the ice. Knight has a goal to his credit thus far. Put this one right onto the stick of Cusin, though. Now Michaud gains his own. Here's Michaud trying to toe drag around Cam Knight. Up to the blue line. Slap shot wide of the cage. That goes up and out of play. And they'll put this face-off in the neutral zone. 6:27 remaining in the second period. The Wildcats leading 4-0. Face-off will be in the neutral zone as the big ripper from Huser at the blue line caromed off the glass and all the way out of play without a deflection from the Cats. With you here, FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network. The host for this broadcast, the KYC, the site of this contest, as this is chipped into the neutral zone. Hinchin has it lost in his skates. Puck is still loose as APAP digs for it, and finally it's one free, but we're going to get a penalty here, and it's going to be an interference against Austin Hinchin as he took Michaud down to the ice. He's trying to say that Michaud interfered with him, trying to make a case for Menard, the referee, to take both, but instead, it'll be just Austin. So the Wildcats will be shorthanded for the 5th time tonight on the Gilmore's Collision Center penalty kill, and the 3rd time this period. And at this point, you've heard me say it enough, but Wildcats are 4 for 4 on the PK thus far, and they're starting to look a gift horse in the mouth a little bit, which is not to say that the penalty kill efforts have not been good. They've been very strong from the Wildcats thus far, as just as I say that, it's cleared all the way down the ice by Colin Staub. But, you know, you just have to wonder how many times are the Wildcats going to be able to hold this power play scoreless. Here's Lomsness on the left wing side. He'll look to play it back in deep. First of this one will be Townsend. He'll roll it around the glass and rim it all the way down the ice. Now, one thing the Wildcats do have going for them is that at 4-0, the Ice Rays power play might not be clicking with the same 1-1 game. Here's Townsend. Banked off the boards. Holding the zone was APAP. He wants to change, so he'll just swat at this one and serve it down into the corner. Wildcats shift up units, and Subri and Reisinger step out on the Gilmore's Collision Center penalty kill. Wrapping it around the boards there was Breyer. To the far side it goes. Reisinger first to this one here. Can't knock it free. Puck is loose. Held at the point by Cortez. He'll rag it along. It's picked up there by a teammate. Near side. Back for Kuzin. Middle of the blue line. Cortez shot saved. Rebound is knocked away from danger. Reisinger looking to clear it away. Now he'll skate it away. 3-on-1 shorthanded with Kosmeski gaining the zone. Here's Reisinger. Toe drag shot saved. Where's the loose puck? And they tuck it home. It's Kuzmeski. Reisinger's shot was saved. It was sitting right at the left pad of Lindgren. No one noticed it except Shane Kuzmeski, who picked it up and slapped it home and makes it 5-0 on the second shorty of the night for the Cats. That is goal number 4 on the year for Shane. As he finishes off a rush with Reisinger. Another assist for Maxey. 5-0 Wildcats. 5 minutes remaining in this second period. This one played in towards the cage of Shaw. Ooh, a little bobble there. Then Shaw upended. This one will result in a penalty here as Cam Knight is going to come together. Someone dropped the gloves. Oh, here we go. Knight gets a big left in. Oh, another big left. They're throwing punches. Haymakers from Liliev. And Knight throws him down to the ice. Huge right hook from Cam Knight. Give him the win in that scrap. He'll get 15 minutes, but with the Cats up 5-0, he'll take that as he steps in for his goaltender, who had gotten run a little bit there by Liliev behind the net. He'll get applause from the Wildcats fans and bench as he skates off the ice. So they'll get 5 minutes for fighting and a further 10-minute misconduct. Liliev and Cam Knight on a good little scrap there. 4:54 remains in the second. That all stemmed from Liliev giving Shaw a little bump, either intentional or not. At 5-0, you know that they're going to take exception to that are the Wildcats as Liliev skates over to the locker room door. As he will likely be back for the third period, but the Wildcats were going to get a power play out of this, or at least they were once Hinchin's minor expires. There's another 40 seconds of shorthanded time as we're trying to sort this out. There was a penalty upcoming for goalie interference on Liliev. Will they give Knight an extra penalty to wash that out? If they do not, we'll skate 4-on-4 for 40, and then the Wildcats will be on the power play for a minute 20 after that. 5-0 the score in favor of the Wildcats with 4:54 remaining in the second. Michaud and Colin Staub getting the explanation from Menard, and I can tell from all the way over here that Michaud does not like the explanation. We'll see what they do with the manpower here. It should be 4-on-4. Like it will be, as they have the face-off moving all the way down to the Wildcats' defensive zone, or the offensive zone, I should say. Frankie Melton will skate over to serve those 2 minutes that were being assessed to Liliev. Skate 4-on-4 for 40 seconds. Wildcats leading 5-0. Shane Kosmeski just scored his 4th goal of the year, finishing off a shorthanded rush with Reisinger. Reisinger's shot off a toe drag was saved. Lindgren had no idea where he had knocked the rebound. That's partly because he had knocked the rebound nowhere. It was just sitting at the top of the blue paint. Kosmeski was the quickest to notice. He pulled it free, got some space, and then tucked it home just inside the left post before the net came sprawling off. That's where we stand, 5-0, skating 4-on-4 as the Wildcats are up by a handful. Up will be to the right of Lindgren. It's won by the Cats. Cook has this one below the goal line. In front, he was looking for Oakley, who had his stick tied up. Oakley, he was looking to go down low for Cook. Getting involved there was Michael Menard. Look out, Michael, as he is caught up in a two-a-side battle and finally extricates himself from that mess. Below the goal line with it still, it was Oakley. He touched it towards the front. Now it's all the way up to the blue line for Cook. Wheeling into his shot. It's blocked there at the top of the blue paint. That one off the body of Howe. As on the puck and looking to wheel forward was Connor Kelly. He'll get by one, get by another and gain the zone. Top of the circle. He's forced to the far side wall. Cook will pick this one up out of the box in a second here as Hinchin. As the Wildcats have a power play for the next minute 20. Lazarus gains the zone at the right wing wall. Lazarus will look to gain possession or hold on to possession as the Cats look to set up the power play. He'll give it to Yeager at the right point. Yeager down into the corner, looking to get it right back from Yeager, but the pass from Litviak was too hot to handle, and it's sent all the way down. Will move this one to be picked up by Farmer in the last 4 minutes of the second period as the Wildcats lead by 5 and are on the power play. 1 for 3 on the manage thus far. Farmer dancing his way all the way through. He'll put on the brakes at the half wall. Placed to the corner. First to it here was Litviak near side. Litviak, where will he go with it? He'll stash it right down low for Yeager once more. Yeager looking to go back up to the point. Instead, he'll work it in front. Here is Sheridan, middle of the blue line for Cook. Cook through traffic. His shot blocked off the leg of his shot. This is Lomsness clearing all the way down. Away the penalties here as Shaw moves this one quickly up the ice. Farmer couldn't ladle it all the way ahead for Sherzin, who was camped out unmarked at the offensive blue line. Jaeger will shake this one free, puts it on the stick of Litviak, and the Cats gain the zone. Here's Litviak on his backhander, trying to walk all the way in front, save, puck loose. Sherzin had it pulled off his blade at the last minute as we hit 3 minutes remaining in the second. Headman pass, looking for Kuzin. Jaeger disrupts play as Shaw will softly paddle this one along for Shane Kuzmeski. Kuzmeski turns it over to Melton out of the box. We're back to 5-on-5. Melton shot, deflects, and goes high and gets the glass. It's on the stick of Jaeger as we skate 5-on-5 in the last 2:40 of the second period that has the Wildcats up by 5. Into the corner it goes once more. It's Kuzmeski pressed hard into the wall there. Sherzin knocks it free. It's sent towards the net, wide of the cage. Caroming around off to the near side it goes. Reisinger jabbed at it, didn't clear the zone. Colwell, good collision there, but holding the zone was Kruger. Now Colwell trying to fish it free. It's worked loose by the Wildcats as Reisinger has it, plays it into space looking for Sherzin. He couldn't find him as now Reisinger is tied up with a man as those two trying to separate themselves. Shaw is behind the net. He'll play it away from an on-rushing Corpus Christi skater. Finally, extricating himself was Reisinger from Melton as Subri looks to gain the zone. Rather, this was Lazarus. Lazarus, that's 22, not 12, pressed into the boards just outside the face-off circle. Behind the net, Reisinger couldn't corral. Subri hustles off to the far side, but it's cleared out. Now look out, stepping onto it, here's Colwell with a little chance. Colwell's shot saved there by Shaw, and this one is picked up off the far side by Lazarus. Poked free and skating forward here, Staub in a 2-on-2. Staub left wing side, has a step in the middle. Here's Staub, and it's sent just wide of the cage as Lindgren went for the poke check and got just enough to put that play off. 1:30 remaining in the second. Colin Staub had a good bid to make it 6-0 there, but Lindgren made the save. Started up the ice. Here is Corpus Christi. It's Butchess who will play this one past Bolio and in behind the cage of Shaw. Matt Cook the first to it there. He'll bump it softly along for Hinchin, who got it right back to Cook. Cook under some pressure here as Butchess pulls it free. Cook fighting with Butchess. Cross check here. Oh, sent towards the front, and that's off the stick of Hinchin. Caromed away. That'll be enough to draw the whistle. So Menard playing a little bit tighter this time around. Cross-checking call to Matt Cook. So the Wildcats already down Cam Knight, who's serving the next 15 minutes for fighting a 5-minute major and a 10-minute misconduct. That's the penalties to both he and Liliev, although Liliev did get an extra 2 for charging. At 15:05 of the second, Wildcats lead 5-0, but they'll be shorthanded on the Gilmore's Collision Center penalty kill for the 6th time tonight in just a few moments. However, must be noted that the Wildcats have scored 2 shorties tonight. Them 4 on the year. Face off will be reset here as Machado is washed out. So stepping in will be Ryan Kuzin, and Cortez will move over to the shooting hole. This is cleared all the way down the ice. Nice job there by, I believe that was Bolio back there. We're in the last minute of play in the period, brought to you by La Quinta Inns and Suites. Here on the power play was Kuzin for the Ice Rays. He'll wrap it around the boards. Lomson's the first one to it here. It's down low into the corner. Cherniak on the PK, getting some time as Machado is below the goal line. Serves it off to the far side half wall. Kuzin the first to it there. Swept down low once more. Lomson spins away from Cherniak, one-handed towards the front of the net. There was no Ice Ray skater there to jab it on goal. Kuzin once more, middle of the blue line. He'll get it back from Cortez, loading his shot, and he whistled it wide of the cage. He had some space on the far side. 20 seconds remaining. Kuzin gets it back, walking to the top of the circle, puts it back onto the stick of Cortez. Backdoor pass, one-timer, swept away from danger. Puck is still loose at the goal step. They jam for it. It's still loose. It skitters away. Now a slap shot sent wide of the cage. 4 seconds remaining. 3, 2, 1 second. This one into the glove of Shaw, and we'll get the horn to end the second 20 minutes of action. Austin Shaw didn't have a whole lot to do in the first, but he turned aside 14 shots faced in that second period as the Wildcats picked up another couple of goals to push their lead to 5-0. None nicer by Austin Shaw than that last scramble right there as he kept it out on the Ice Rays power play. We'll step aside. When we come back, we'll recap this 20 minutes of action. We'll also revisit last night's 7-1 win, and we'll hear from Max Reisinger ahead of his upcoming European adventure with the Austrian U20 national team. All that and more on the other side of the break here from the K. Yeager Coliseum on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network. Wildcats Hockey presented by Armored Roofing rolls on just after this. Coliseum. Ben Horner with you on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network. Cats holding a 5-0 lead through 40 minutes of action. Goals in that second period by Cam Knight and Shane Kosmeski. The defense playing a large role in tonight's contest. A couple of goals from the Blue Liners this evening, and they got goals from Austin Albrecht, Evan Oakley, and Eric Yeager, as they have controlled this one pretty much from the opening puck drop. Here's the real impressive part for me, at least through the first 40 minutes. The Wildcats are holding the league's best power play off the score sheet, and it's not like they've only had one or two chances. 6 for 6 on the Gilmore's Collision Center penalty kill are the Wildcats thus far, and they gave up a power play goal in last night's contest. However, that was the only tally they gave up, as right now we'll turn our attention back to that 7-1 win over the Ice Rays from yesterday evening. Both goalies are ready. It looks like everyone else is ready as Menard drops the puck. We're underway here in the first period, brought to you by American Classified. As off the draw, the Wildcats possess in their own zone as Matt Cook will chip this one along. Here's Eric Yeager playing defense for the first time this year, at least officially, aside from a towards the net, caroming around there. It's loose. Subri and a save there by Lindgren. Subri swept it along, poked back in front. They score. It's Max Reisinger. He banked it home from below the goal line. The Wildcats lead 1-0. Lindgren was out of position after Subri's shot, and Reisinger banked it home from below the goal line. Behind the net, here's Jake Townsend. Long Falconer, nice support job here to come back and grab it with 15 minutes remaining in the first period. Townsend, now Oakley, touched along there, but the Wildcats couldn't get in the zone. Now Frankie Melton stepping in. Here's Melton, backhander, and he couldn't get a shot away. Played towards the middle and a save there by Zebnik off the stick of Michaud. Now it's Oakley looking to motor back ahead for the Wildcats. He found Litviak. Onside play. Litviak at the top of the circle for Subri on the trailer. His shot scores! Paul Subri! From just inside the blue line, and the Wildcats double their lead. It's 2-0. Play by APAP to disrupt the headman pass. Here's Staub from the bench. 9:29 remaining in this first. Staub looking to center in front. They score. Lindgren put it in his own net. Staub was centering for Beaulieu, and it's 3-0 Cats. It banked home off Lindgren's stick. It's 3-0, and we're going to get a goaltending change here as Luke Pickar will come into the contest. We'll get you Pickar's numbers in just a second when we have a moment. As this is played in towards the cage of Zebnik, it'll come up well short as Cam Knight, the first back to it for Wichita Falls. Nice pass up to find Sherzan now as Sherzan will hit Farmer in stride. Here's Farmer below the circle, in front, Farmer! And a great save by Pickar, his first action of the game. Now it's in front, Kuzmeski, a shot save, rebound, and it's knocked away. Shane Kuzmeski as the Cats are buzzing, looking for four, shot save by Pickar. Welcome to the game, Luke Pickar. Relieves Andrew Lindgren and is immediately faced with 3 high-quality looks. The Ice Rays power play is the best in the league. Their first opportunity of the contest. Face off to the right of Zebnik. Farmer out there to take the draw short-handed. It's tied up and pulled back to the point. Walking it along. Here's Cortez. Now back for a shot that goes wide of the cage. That one came off the stick of, I believe that was Kuzin on the far side. Here's Cortez. Michaud, top of the right wing circle. Cortez, one-timer, saved by Zebnik. Rebound, they score. Lumsness tucking it home after Zebnik made the initial save, and the Ice Rays are back in the contest. Off the faceoff, they control. Looking to shake it down low as Yeager into the corner. It goes there. Farmer will return it for him. Yeager with it in the far side corner. Looking to shake free from Kanon. He does. Backhander towards the net. Litviak on the rebound. Poke just wide, and fanning on it with an empty net was Yeager. Yeager wheels it back to the top of the zone where Farmer plays it right back to Yeager. Shot wide of the cage. Litviak from a bad angle. Can't work it out of his skates. Now has to go back up to the point. He'll hold on it now. Nice pass over to the far side, and Farmer. Slap shot. Save. Knocked down in front. Caroming around. And it couldn't be held by Cook as it skipped over his stick. He'll have to hustle back. Peeling off as he was on a obligatory forecheck with Lomsness. Ice Rays get a fresh unit out there. Farmer rushing along, gains his own right wing side, stop shot, rebound, scores! Kevin Sherazin picks up goal number 13 on the year. It's a power play tally. Both teams have gotten one with the man advantage, and the Cats now lead 4-1. Wide of the cage. Pickar was lunging for it in front from Reisinger up to the point. Kosmecki's shot. Oh, it hit the post. Where is it? Oh, the goal lights went on, but we play on. What a crazy sequence. Kosmecki slammed it off the post. Reisinger thought he had buried it, but we play on. Colwell chips to some space. Here's Shane Kosmecki, who has just denied his 4th of the year by the base of the post. We're going to have a quick conversation about that last sequence down there where Kosmecki slammed it off the left post of Pickar, as we're going to hold play here, and the goal judge is going to have a conversation with the referee, Michael Menard. Be hard-pressed to overturn this one, I think. You don't have the benefit of video review, obviously, in the North American Hockey League, at least not officially. But from the naked eye, I never saw it cross the goal line. No goal will be the official call. John LaFontaine, not too concerned with it. He'll let play go on. So, no controversy here. And we'll continue with the Cats leading 4-1. Matt Cook will get to the red line and play this one in deep as the Cats are looking to change up their forwards. APAP, fresh from the bench, trying to step inside Kruger and hold his own. Reisinger worked it free in front. Beaulieu all alone, saved by Pickar. It's still loose, and the second effort doesn't get on net. Great save there by Pickar as Beaulieu found himself all alone at the top of the blue paint. Right into the face of Farmer. He'll knock it down, put it on his back end, and play it along to Sherazin. Nice little move. Sherazin working inside a man. Now Townsend, slap shot from the top of the zone. It's blocked. He'll get it back. Backhander. Sherazin in front, and hitting the post was Albrecht from the top of the crease. Not the first time the Wildcats have seen a grade A look with a wide open cage go begging. No, but it comes up short of icing. So we'll play on as Crenon is back to collect for the Ice Rays. Headman pass was ambition, was intercepted by Kosmecki. Onside play, Kosmecki backdoor, Reisinger loading shot, save, rebound, and they score! It was fished out, but the referee, Michael Menard, gives the goal. 5-1 Wildcats lead, and it's Reisinger setting it up once more. Back to play here inside the last 5 minutes of the second period as the Wildcats now lead 5-1. He's tonight's player of the game in terms of the post-game autographs is Max Reisinger, and making a very good case to be the number one star here as this is ladled forward. Here's Reisinger trying to split the D. Reisinger on a hat-trick, backhand effort, and a save there by Pickar. Reisinger spun back towards the middle and kicking this one away from danger where the Ice Rays will play this one up ahead off a back skate. By Cook in the last 5 seconds of the period. Cook outside towards the middle. He was looking for Beaulieu. They score! I don't know if Beaulieu ever got a touch to that one. I think that deflected off of Liliev in front. But the Wildcats get a goal with, well, there's double zeros on the clock. They're going to count the goal. The period's over. It's 6-1. Double zeros on the clock. That deflected off of Howe and in. And it definitely went in before time elapsed. So, end of the second period. The Wildcats score another 3 times. They now lead 6-1. We'll get a face-off to the right of Zebnik here. This one is played towards the back door. Melton can't pull the trigger. And again, it's up towards Cortez. Here's a shot. It was deflected and went to the back wall. Lazarus had tried to leak out for a breakaway attempt. Cortez stepped in front of him and had a good look, but it was blocked. Reisinger coming back up the ice. He's got 2 goals to his credit. Now swings it to Cook. High slot. Back door, they score! Oh, what a pass! It's Lazarus making it 7-1 as Cook picked out a beauty of a pass down low. Out of the box here was Yeager. The Wildcats on the power play, but there's 5 seconds remaining. As Cook will just tie up in the corner. And we will get the horn. That'll do it. A great performance by the Wildcats from start to finish. A result that was never in doubt. Lesson learned from Saturday. They took a big lead, kept their foot on the accelerator, and never let Corpus Christi back into the contest. 7-1 win, the final score. It was a 7-1 win for the Wildcats, and a big piece of that 7-1 win was the efforts of Max Reisinger. He posted his second three-point game of the season, 2 goals and an assist for Reisinger. He gets set to join up with Austria, as now's as good a time as any to catch up with Max on his thoughts ahead of this 2015 IIHF World U20 here, Wildcats fans, and joining me now is Wildcats forward Max Reisinger, who is getting set for a little bit of a European adventure here following this weekend's action against the Corpus Christi Ice Rays. Max will be heading out back to Europe to represent Austria at the upcoming IIHF Ice Hockey U20 World Championships. Max, first off, thanks for taking the time to join us. Second, congratulations on being selected to represent your country. Take us a little bit through what that feeling is like for you.
First off, thank you for congratulations, and I mean it's really exciting to be able to represent your country, and it's something to be proud of, and it's not something you get to do every day, so it's something really special.
How excited are you heading into this tournament? How are you feeling coming off this first half of the season?
Coming off the season, I mean it's been a really good start so far for the team and for me personally. So I'm feeling really comfortable and confident to bring that over to transfer that to my game to the national team.
Max, this is not the first time that you've represented Austria. You also represented them at the U18 World Championships in 2012. How can you use that experience a couple years ago to help you with this transition this year?
Back then, I was one of the youngest players on the team, and it was a really good experience for me. It was my first World Junior Championship, and I can definitely carry over a lot of the experience to the Under 20 World Championship this year, because I'm going to be one of the older guys, and then can help out the younger guys like I was back then.
So, Max, you're one of only a small number of North American-based skaters selected by the Austrian team. Are you expecting any issues transferring from the smaller North American sheet back to the international ice surface?
That's a lot. A lot of the time, that's a problem for players who play in the United States, if it's pro players or junior players like me. But I don't think it's that big of a.
What are you most looking forward to when they drop the puck on December 14th to open the tournament? You guys will be taking on Latvia.
Obviously, the goal of the whole tournament is to win and to win the gold medal and go up to the A group. But it's all about a good start to the championship, and it's going to be a big first game, and every game's decide is big. Every game counts, so we got to go from game to game, and obviously, we look at the first game and
Max Reisinger and the Austrian national team will take on Latvia to open up Division I Group A play in the 2015 IIHF Ice Hockey U20 World Championships. That'll happen at noon Central Standard Time, December the 14th. Again, that is Austria against Latvia. Max, best of luck over there. Safe travels. We'll be watching and bring back that gold medal.
Thank you very much.
Alluded to a couple of times, Max will head out tomorrow to join up with the Austrian national team, as he'll be looking to cap off his 2014 side of the 2014-15 campaign. Maybe a little bit of goal, maybe a goal, as he's already got a couple of assists to his credit thus far, as the Wildcats lead 5-0 as we roll into the third period. We'll step aside when we come back. We'll have the final frame here from the K. Yeager Coliseum on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network. Don't go anywhere. Wildcats Hockey presented by Armored Roofing will continue just after this. 3 minutes in the books, 20 minutes still ahead as the Wildcats lead 5-0 over the Corpus Christi Ice Rays. They will be shorthanded for 57 seconds to start this third period as they are in the midst of their 6th penalty kill of the night. Gilmore's Collision Center penalty kill. Ice Rays will have 57 seconds of power play time to start the frame. Austin Shaw in the cage to my right. Andrew Lindgren in the cage to my left as the teams have changed ends. Cam Knight, by the way, back out on the ice, or very quickly into the penalty box. He'll serve the remainder of his misconducts, and then we'll maybe have the last few minutes to try and get the assist to pick up the Gordie Howe hat trick. Quick note on that, by the way, the last Wildcat skater to get a Gordie Howe hat trick was Andrew Kerr last year against these same Corpus Christi Ice Rays. Mr. Kerr apparently had a Gordie last night in a win for the Dubuque Saints over the Madison Capitals. So Kerr making a bit of a habit with that. A good old Kerr boom for good measure and nostalgia's sake as the puck is down. We're underway in the third period, brought to you by American Classified. Here's Cortez with the Ice Rays still on the power play. Back middle of the blue line. Cortez slap shot blocked in front. Bouncing around here, Subri sprawls down to the ice and forces it into the neutral zone. Reisinger and Subri out there on the penalty kill for the Wildcats, as this is some well-deserved time for them, as Kuzin gains his own, hook towards the middle, throw towards the net, puck is loose, and LeBurn can't pull the trigger, puck still loose, we're going to get a penalty upcoming. Reisinger touches up, as LeBurn went down to the ice, he's slow to get back to his skates, it's a hooking call, and it was played towards the middle, Shaw directed it away. Somehow kept it out, and it looks like Reisinger is going to be the guy skating over to the box. So the Cats will be down 5-on-3 for the next 18 seconds. And then they will be shorthanded once again. Face-off will be to the right of Shaw. Hey now. As it's one back to the point for Cortez. He'll give it down low. Back up to the middle of the blue line. Lobs this near side. Michaud having a rough night. He just completely whipped on that one-timer. Here's Kuzin below the goal line. Inching out there on the 5-on-3 with Kuzmeski and Farmer. Slap shot. Deflecting around there and knocked aside as the Wildcats can't clear the zone quite yet. Lomsness. Matt Cook is out of the box. Immediately joins play. Michaud to the blue line where Cortez has it. Cook in front of him. Michaud, he'll play catch. Wheels to the blue line for Cortez once more. Down low into the corner. It's played towards the middle where waiting for it was Butchess, but this one is spiked away, and retreating to the neutral zone was Michaud. Now wheeling all the way into the zone, trying to get around Hinchin. Here's Michaud, looking to wrap all the way around. Now at the goal line outside the circle. Lost it in his skates, gets it back. Cortez one-timer. Wide. Rebound. Fanning on the loose puck was Lomsness, as quick to seal off the post was Shaw. Still with the puck. Here's Michaud holding Cortez. One-timer held on it. Now a backdoor shot. They score. It's a power play goal for the Ice Rays, and you give them 7 opportunities. Eventually, the league's top power play unit will find the back of the net. So it's 5-1 with 18-19 remaining in the third period. So Kuzin will pick up his 9th goal of the year, and he'll keep his 9-game point streak alive. So the Wildcats power play, or rather the Ice Rays power play, eventually given enough opportunities to come good on this one, as this is played up the ice for Boyo, as the Wildcats will look to reclaim a 5-goal edge. They lead 5-1 after the Ice Rays have just cut into that one. Out to the far side, ridden hard into the wall, up high, that was Colin Staub. APAP works it free, swept along the blue line for Matt Cook. Cook looks to spin down low. Into the corner it goes. Bolio will work it free as APAP comes along to dig out as well. To his side battle. Now Bolio peels away. 17:45 remaining in the third period, as the Wildcats would love a quick little goal here just to remind the Ice Rays that there's still a long way to go before they're back in this one. Here's APAP trying to turn around towards the middle, and this one is blocked away to the point. Here's Cook. His pass off to Townsend towards the net. High and wide. That got the glass. Cook will step down the near side wall. Gives into the corner for Bolio. Bolio worked over a little bit. He'll maintain possession and give to Cook, who stands up strong in the corner but now loses the puck. Staub held it. Still holding his stop. Now walking towards the middle. Shot save. Rebound trickles just wide as it was deflected from just between the hash marks. Rolls up to the far side. Colwell clears only as far as Townsend as the Wildcats will spin back. It's Townsend spinning it up the ice as they're in the midst of a change. Howe chips this one in deep. The Ice Rays working on a line change of their own now. As back to grab it, it was Matt Cook. He'll give it along to Farmer. He'll swoop through the zone. Off to Sherazin, gaining the zone. Back in front, he was looking for Farmer. Pops up into the air. Albrecht takes it on the far side corner. Sherazin all alone in the slot. He couldn't work the puck free to find him with it. Two-a-side battle ensues as Farmer will try to dig it loose. Here is Farmer. Touch towards the middle. Sherazin upended here as now the Ice Rays look to step forward. It's Kelly. Chipping around Kosmeski. Kosmeski knocks it around. Hinchin punches it away. Puck is still loose. It's in the slot. Howe trying to pull a trigger. Backhand effort. It's blocked aside. Down low once more. Outside the circle are the Ice Rays. A little tap there by Kosmeski. Frees his man from the puck. And Kosmeski will gain the zone. Albrecht gaining it in the middle as well. Sherazin loading. Shot scores! 6-1. 5-goal lead restored. Kevin Sherazin picks up his team leading 14th of the year. And have a game, Shane Kosmeski. That'll be point number 3 for Coos as the Wildcats restore their 5-goal edge. Face-off. Back at center ice, the Wildcats leading 6-1. Kevin Sherazin picking up goal number 14 on the year, point number 21, as Cook will wheel back, give to Litviak, and now Litviak will look to step onside. Litviak, shot save there by Lindgren. And at this point, if we haven't seen Pickar, we likely are not going to. He's feeling under the weather tonight, as are a lot of the Ice Rays. They're having a bit of a flu bug run through their locker room right now. And we're starting to see the ill effects of that. Not too many legs left in this Ice Rays squad. Face off to the right of Lindgren here. First onto it after the Ice Rays won it was Brendan Murphy, who bumps it quickly back to Wes Machad. Machad up to Kuzin. Send it right back down low where Cortez will have to grab it. Ice Rays, but Litviak plays this one all the way down. This will come up short of icing as Contino waved it off to keep play moving with 15 and a half remaining in the third. Cortez chipped forward only as far as Cook. Oakley wants it. He has a goal and an assist thus far. Onside barely as Oakley did nice to get back. Here is Litviak around in front. Puck caroming around. It's still loose, and Kuzin will glove this one down on a clearance attempt. Trying to chip past Kosmeski. Shane will chop at this one. Up the ice it goes. Oakley can't reach it. Now he'll circle to the bench for a change, as this is Brendan Murphy looking to hustle forward. Murphy, his shot, wide of the cage. Shaw knocks this one wide and bumps off the wall for Cherniak to sweep along for Lazarus. Here is Lazarus fighting through a back check here, and then worked it along to Subri nicely at the left wing side. Flown in deep. First to it here are the Ice Rays. Big collision there. It was evaded by a couple of parties. This sent all the way down. Would be icing, but it wound up on the cage. Ooh, look out. Well, we got a whistle, and it's going to be a penalty against the Wildcats, and it's going to be a kneeing call. And it looks like it's going to go against Paul Subri here with 14:44 remaining in the third period. Wildcats leading 6-1. Kevin Sherazin has scored in this third period. That cancels out Ryan Kuzin's power play goal at 1:41 of the third. So Sherazin from Subri and Kosmeski. That's a 3-point night for Shane. Subri picks up point number 6 on the year with an assist. Off will be to the right of Shaw as the Wildcats are back on the Gilmore's Collision Center penalty kill. They are 6 for 7 thus far. Here is Townsend. He'll step along, step into it, and wrap this around the glass and all the way down. Stepping out from behind the cage of Lindgren and looking to move forward. Here is Trevor Huser. Plays this one wide of the cage of Shaw. Angles off the kick plate. And Shaw will just cover up. Took a little tap along the top of the helmet there as someone skated by. He looks around to try and get the number, but inconsequential and no harm, no foul. 14:23 remaining in the third. The Wildcats on the Gilmore's Collision Center penalty kill for the next minute 39. They are up by 5. It's 6-1 here in the third period. Shaw had a shutout bid carried into the third period, but a power play goal from Kuzin Short side, snuck it through a little bit of space at the right post as Fall start off the draw once more. That was something that Shaw and Zebnik were working with Wildcats assistant coach Chris Saransky on earlier in the week, and they'll get back to working on that next week, we're sure, as this is cleared out by the Wildcats with another minute 30 remaining on the PK as Subri is in the box, 2 minutes for kneeing. Onto the cage of Shaw. He'll spike this one away. Cherniak on the PK. Clears, not all the way down, but Staub will pick up the loose puck. Skating 1-on-3 short-handed. He'll take it all the way into the corner, and now we'll just protect and try to kill off some more time as the Wildcats are changing up penalty kills. Inside the last 14 of the third. Looking to step forward and play this one in deep was Breyer. Breyer has given it a good effort tonight. Now a wraparound chance. Shaw was out of his net. They score on the power play. Shaw went walking, and Connor Kelly makes it 6-2. Shaw went for a little skate out of his net there, as the wraparound chance, after he didn't get there, he was a little slow to get back to his crease. The wraparound chance went flying up to the point, and Connor Kelly swept it back into the net. But this is exactly why the Wildcats are pretty happy that they killed off the first 6. Here's Farmer looking to fight through a check. Now plays it towards the front of the net. This rolls up to the point for Shane Kosmeski. Kosmeski now along to Cook. Walking toward the middle of the blue line. Shot saved there by Lindgren. And he lost his helmet. And now a big coming together in front of the net. Down low there was Albrecht. He's got 4 guys gobbling him up there in that scrum. Finally, the officials separate everyone. Albrecht looks like he's going to get some time in the sin bin here. Faceoff will be to the left of Lindgren. Anyway, the Wildcats have to be, at this point, pretty content with how they started on the penalty kill, because right now, if it weren't for their efforts on the Gilmore's Collision Center PK, we might have a whole different contest. It's 6-2 here at the K. Yeager Coliseum. There's 13:32 remaining in the third period. The Cats leading by 4, but Corpus Christi scored a couple of power play goals in this period just to give the Wildcats something to think about. Here's Howe gaining the zone, swatted away from him by Kosmeski, chopped quickly along for Farmer. Farmer rags, circles back, plays along for Matt Cook. Here's Cook. Flips it forward. He was trying to hit Farmer. Instead, it was knifed away from him. Kosmeski has to circle back into his own zone, and he'll pick out a pass nicely up the ice for Farmer. Now it's Litviak trying to walk through traffic. Litviak loading, shot, partially blocked here. Lindgren will steer this one away. Almost steered it into his own cage from the near side. Holding the zone. Now he'll take it into the neutral zone as it's Litviak giving back to Jake Townsend. Back along to Cherniak. The 2 Russians on the ice for the Wildcats. Cherniak's pass was partially blocked. Now gaining the zone here, the ice race, but they had their pocket picked as Yeager got it along to Oakley, who works it up the ice to Litviak. Here's Litviak, toe drag, trying to pull it around. Oakley's shot, save there. Puck is still loose at the side of the net. Lindgren made the initial save. Yeager behind the cage, trying to bank it off the back of Lindgren. Instead, he'll take it to the near side corner. Wanted to go up to the point. Instead, he's forced back down low for Litviak. Litviak pressed off it. Yeager tied up here in the corner as well, as Yeager finally works it free. Litviak getting involved as well. It's long, only for Kuzin to take it, and he'll clear this off the far side boards and down. Townsend quickly back up the ice. Here's Oakley gaining the zone, stepping along away from Cortez. Back into the middle for Subri. Backhander in front. Hooked off it there was Lazarus. Penalty upcoming here. Here is Lazarus on a delayed penalty as Austin Shaw makes his way to the bench for an extra skater. Can he work it down low to keep play alive? It's Subri, and we'll get the whistle to touch things up, as it'll be a hooking call. Lazarus was walking down the slot and was hooked off it as Reisinger tried to play it towards the middle. 11:55 remaining in the third period. Wildcats leading 6-2, but as I've mentioned, power play goals from Kuzin and Kelly for the ice race have given the Wildcats something to think about in this third. Evan Sherazin with the goal in this third period for the Wildcats. The faceoff will be to the right of Lindgren, with the Cats heading to power play number 4 on the night. They're 1 for 3 on the man advantage. Good win for APAP on the draw. Now Townsend got it along to Bolio. Bolio, nice protect here. He'll walk towards the middle. Into the corner for Staub. Staub up to the blue line where Townsend waits. Back for Staub. Now back for Bolio at the goal line. Bolio walking in towards the middle. Up to the blue line for Townsend. Back for Bolio above the circle. Into the middle of the ice. Fanning on it there was APAP as he had wheeled into the middle of the slot. And it's cleared out by Kelly as he was down on a knee. Bolio, nice pass along to APAP, who will drop it right back to Bolio. Bolio, top of the left wing circle, middle of the blue line for Townsend. Townsend through traffic towards the net, off a body, and skitters wide. Into the near side corner it comes. That's the left wing corner of the Wildcats. APAP can't hold this one in as Kelly clears, but only as far as Bolio and Townsend at the left side. Townsend towards the net. That off a leg. That was Howe in front. Bolio tries to dipsy doodle his way into the corner. He lost the puck as the puck is now behind the goal line. And a two-a-side, now a three-a-side battle will develop in the last 11. Bolio works the loose puck free. Townsend off to Kosmeski. His shot blocked, and it will be picked up by APAP. Good power play up to Townsend. Middle of the blue line. Shot again to flex wide. Stubb from a bad angle on a bounding puck. He couldn't clear or hold it in. Now Townsend, good keep. Here's Bolio at the circle in front. Kosmeski checked it. Now they score. It's APAP after Kosmeski flubbed his shot, but a power play goal for the Wildcats, their second of the night, and they lead 7-2. APAP gets goal number 3 on the year. That's point number 4 on the night for Shane Kosmeski. Shane Kosmeski with the first 4-point game by a Wildcat in some time. He is for sure going to be our number 1 star tonight. With 10:40 remaining in the third, the Wildcats up once more by a handful. Face off, we're back to 5-on-5 action here. As APAP gets his third of the year, that is point number 17 on the year for Tommy. They give assists to Bolio and Kosmeski, as this is Matt Cook in his own defensive corner. Worked it up the wall where Sheridan was waiting for it. It squirts free where Spillum will try and spin it up the ice. Albrecht put him under some pressure. Farmer couldn't step onto the loose puck. As looking to start it forward, here's Wes Michaud. Here's a shot. Oh, it rang off the bar and goes up and out of play. Pulling the trigger there from the left wing was Lomsness on a quick little pass from Michaud. 10:05 remaining in the third. And we'll get a whistle as the Cats lead. As I mentioned, 7-2 is the score. Off will be to the right of Shaw. The only blemishes on his night tonight are a couple of power play goals. Whitbeck serving it back to the near side off the faceoff. Murphy towards the net, shot and a save there by Shaw. Swallowing up that loose puck at 9:58 of the third, and then we'll get another faceoff for the Wildcats in their defensive zone. Head into immediate timeout here in the third period. So that goal for the Wildcats will be scored by Tommy Apap on the power play from Kosmeski and Bolio, 9:20 of the third period. Goal number 3 on the year for Apap, as I mentioned. Point number 4 on the night for Kosmeski. Great night for Shane. For Bolio, that'll be his second point of the night as well, and 24th overall. Back to play, there will be a face-off to the left of Shaw. Face-off to Shaw's left here in the last few minutes of this third period here. The Wildcats leading by a score of 7-2, looking to finish off the weekend sweep here. This sent all the way down the ice by Cook. No icing here as Lindgren will step away from his crease to play this one. Now Townsend quickly towards the net, and this one was canceled out as he wasn't able to get all of it. Here's Litviak around in front, puck loose at the goal line, and Yeager will jab at this one, but he can't force it home. Yeager spins it back off to the far side where Townsend will step onto it. Townsend rubbed off cleanly there by Cortez as Oakley will fling this one through the crease. In their own zone, they have possession, and they'll look to skate it up the ice. It's LeBurn, who has been quiet tonight, playing sparingly, trying to help out his teammates who are short-handed here. Staffed, I should say, as we're skating 5-on-5, as gaining the zone was Litviak, but he lost possession as the Ice Rays look to bring it up ahead. Subri lost his twig after a little coming together with Colwell. Puck is loose behind the cage of Shaw as Kosmeski picks it up and will look to move ahead. Here's Kosmeski, a 4-point night for him. He'll look to gain the zone at the circle. Kosmeski hooks it out in front. Reisinger overskated it. Someone might have gotten a stick to it. Now it's Reisinger and Lazarus pulling the trigger, bouncing around, and it will be covered up by Andrew Lindgren. Cam Knight, by the way, out of the box, so we'll see if he can pick up an assist to pick up the Gordie Howe. 8:48 remaining in the third period for him to try and do that. He has served his 15 minutes in the sin bin, and I'm sure it was quality time for him to think about what he has done. And what he has done is had a very strong game for the Wildcats thus far. +1 has a goal to his credit thus far. Picked up a big decisive win in the scrap against Liliev. Nice keep here by Chernyuk, but it was only momentarily as this is brought forward by Butchis. Skipped it wide of the cage of Shaw, who will leave this one along for Kosmeski. Chernyuk will chip this as well and look to move it forward. Here's Chernyuk, backhanded pass blindly onto the stick of Lazarus, who will wheel back into his own zone and give to Chernyuk, who banks it off the boards to Lazarus. Nice play there by Chernyuk, who is continuing to get better and better each game. Gaining the zone, here's Butchis. Getting back there to pressure him was Apap as Chernyuk held his ground in the slot. Into the far side corner it goes to a side battle as Apap has lost his stick. He'll kick it off to the far side wall. Reisinger along to Lazarus in the middle. Dangerous pass, but no harm, no foul as Lazarus will play this one into the near side corner. 7:55 remaining in the third period. We're going to come up the ice. Here are the Ice Rays. It's Howe. Up ahead, his pass hit Mashad in stride. Mashad upended here, and this one is picked up by Cam Knight on a loose puck. Knight will play it off to Staub. Staub slams on the brakes at the half wall. Can't spin it down low into the corner. Nice step there by Knight to keep the Ice Rays from stepping away as this is sent all the way down. No icing here as Shaw shakes his head at himself as he had stepped out of his cage to make an attempt to play that. That negates the icing as this is Cortez chopping it away from Bolio in the neutral zone. Trying to work this one free on the breakout here. Doesn't like what he has in front of him, so he'll retreat back behind the cage of Shaw. Slowly stepping out from below the goal line. And they'll give it along to Cook in the last 7 minutes of the third as the Wildcats have scored 7 for the second night in a row. Back to the near side where Cortez skates it along. Now it's picked up by Kruger, and we're going to get a whistle here. Either offside or it'll be icing. 6:52 remaining in the third. We get the whistle. That'll hold play, and it'll be an icing, or rather an offside here. The faceoff will be in the neutral zone in front of the Wildcats bench area. Draw one by the Wildcats in front of their bench. Sharazin, feeling the big hit coming, was Farmer. He'll duck away from it and play this one away from teammates here as it's chipped in deep. Melton the first to it here for the Ice Rays. Farmer on it, swings it around the boards and down. No icing here as it comes up at the red line where Howe and Albrecht come together. Albrecht got things going early in the first period, early in this contest anyway, with about 10 minutes played in the first. He raced away short-handed and scored wickets of Lindgren to make it 1-0. Here's Yeager racing into the zone. Yeager looking to pick the corner top side as his shot got the glass. Possession with Huser. This towards the cage of Shaw. It took an awkward bounce. Shaw knocks this away as this is Hinchin. Has some trouble with it. Shot from below the goal line. Goes high and gets the glass after Hinchin had swept it right onto the stick. I believe Butchis holding the zone. Here's Spillum with a shot. That goes high and gets the glass. Hard into the ditch there, legally so, said the referee Marin, as this is picked up by Oakley once more on a good defensive job. Slow back to his feet is Hinchin. Litviak gains the zone. Here is Litviak. Looks to play it softly towards the cage. It's behind. Litviak Hinchin favoring the left leg as he comes to the bench. Cherniak fresh onto the ice for the Wildcats. Chipped off on the backhand. Here's Litviak, loading shot, save, rebound, jamming for it's Yeager. And, Yeager hit hard into the boards awkwardly here. Rather, that was Oakley who was bumped in hard. Serve down low. Oakley will take this one. Delayed penalty upcoming here against the Ice Rays. Shaw is to the bench for an extra attacker. And touching up here is Corpus Christi with 5:07 remaining in the third. 7-2 the score in favor of Wichita Falls. They have led from the opening puck drop. They were up 3-0, then 5-0. It was 5-1, then 6-1, then 6-2 as House skates over to the box. APAP scored on the Wildcats' last power play to make it 7-2. The Cats are 2 for 4 on the man advantage thus far. Faceoff will be to the left of Lindgren, who right now we have the definition of taking one for the team. As I mentioned, Pickar ill tonight. He's dressed as a backup. This one eludes Townsend and will roll all the way down. Shaw will wander into the right wing corner in his defensive zone to leave it along for Jake. Pickar sick tonight, one of a few victims of flu-like symptoms that have been burning through the Ice Rays locker room. That's why Lindgren probably still in the net. Albrecht looking to wrap all the way around in front up to the point. Here's Lazarus top of the circle. Lazarus holding on it, gives to Townsend. Townsend spins nicely back to Lazarus with some space. Lazarus holding down low. Oakley swept it along the goal line. There was nobody at the back door to tuck it in. Reisinger, nice saucer pass, finds Townsend, settles, slap shot wide, rebound, loose in the slot. Michaud will pick this up and sky at the length of the ice. Skipping around towards the cage of Shaw, who will send this one aside. Picking it up is Townsend, 4:15 remaining in the third. Wildcats on the power play for the next minute 5 as they lead by a handful. It's 7-2. Wheeling onto it in the neutral zone at Staub. He'll gain the zone. Rush, he'll slam on the brakes. Puck loose now. Staub pulling at it here after it was swiveled in front for APAP. APAP trying to hold the zone as this is Staub walking towards the middle. Here's Staub. Backdoor. He was looking for Kosmeski, and it was just behind him. Instead, it's APAP. Down into the corner it goes. Staub getting involved there as well. Staub with it. Now he'll look to give it along to Beaulieu and does. Beaulieu outside the left face-off circle, walking into some traffic, gives to Staub, spun in front, swatted out of midair, it's loose, and we'll get a whistle. It was played by a high stick as Kosmeski hacked at it above the crossbar. 3:35 remaining in the third period. The Wildcats holding a 7-2 lead. They have another 28 seconds of power play time, but after that high stick, the face-off will move all the way down to the left of Austin Shaw. Wildcats are wrapping up their home slate here in 2014, calendar year 2014. They'll obviously be back at it in January and February. Actually, a very heavy home schedule in January after 6 straight on the road. Between now and the start of 2015, the Wildcats will then have 8 straight at home in their longest homestand of the year. Here's Beaulieu wheeling through traffic. He'll gain the zone. Swept along the boards to the near side. It comes for Colin Staub. Staub puts on the brakes. Can't work to APAP here as now all 3 Wildcats will bunch up as out of the box in a few seconds will be Huser slamming his stick on the ice as Shaw as Kosmeski wheels back to pick him up, and we're back to 5-on-5 hockey. Puck is loose in the corner. It's Colin Staub at the goal line. Dipsy doodling his way in front. Couldn't pull the trigger as it was knocked away in the last 2:50 of the third period. Faceoff will be, or rather, played down low, looking for the faceoff for the Ice Rays. Instead, we'll play on as this is Connor Kelly swiveling it back down. Jessica, haven't called his name too much tonight. Spun into the corner where Butchis was waiting. Butchis tucked out in front. Kosmeski intercepts and will take it behind the cage of Shaw. Shane Kosmeski has 4 points tonight, tracking to be the number 1 star, as here is Cam Knight with the last 2:30 of the contest. He put it right onto the stick of Melton. Melton looking to gain the zone, and it's offside barely here, as early into the zone was Griff Jeska. After tonight, the Wildcats will hit the road for the next 6 games, as I was mentioning, starting with 2 in Rio Grande Valley down in Hidalgo, Texas next weekend, Friday and Saturday night. 7:30 puck drop in those 2 contests. Off the face-off, Sherazin tucked back to Cherniak, and Townsend will give it right back to Constantine. Through the middle of the ice, Farmer, nice stick handle move. He'll take to the left wing side, gets around one man, pressed into the wall, and loses the puck. Good play there by Carl. Howe rolls it around the boards. Both teams kind of pulling the reins back a little bit here as this is chipped in deep by the Ice Rays. Chernyuk the first to it here as we're in the last 2 minutes of the period as the Wildcats are cruising home to a 7-2 win. Townsend will retreat behind the safety of Austin Shaw's cage. Looks to play it along to his deep partner Chernyuk in the corner. Chernyuk gloves it down, has some trouble with it. Farmer, good support here. Will shake it back along to Townsend. Townsend, his pass along to Litviak. He tied up there with his teammate Chernyuk. It's loose in the paraphernalia of Chernyuk, and finally, Farmer will just sweep this one down. No icing. Litviak first to it here. He'll beat everyone, looking to tuck it all the way around in front. Good active stick, played towards the middle. Lazarus couldn't direct it on net as he was hooked off it. Might have taken a little lumber up high, but he'll play on as he checks his chicklets. Far side it goes, held in nicely here by Cam Knight. Slap shot, wide of the cage, rebound for Lazarus. Lazarus down at the goal line. Looks to play it up to the point once more. Knight mishandled, and it's played down low. Here is Cook. We'll get a whistle here coming together between Howe and Litviak. Litviak has lost his stick. Howe wants to go. The linesman, smartly so, credit to Spore and Contino, not letting them get at it here. No sense in it. So we'll see if they give those guys maybe 2 minutes each or a little bit more for continuing an altercation or something like that. And it looks like it's going to be 2 apiece. So Litviak and Howe will have their nights end in the sin bin. 1:01 remaining in the third period. Call at the last minute of play in the third, brought to you by La Quinta Inns and Suites. Wildcats leading 7-2, and I guess here's the more interesting part of this contest as compared to last night. Shots on goal were fairly even in this game. 24-23 is where they sit right now, according to Point Streak. That in favor of the Ice Rays. And it was 17-8 in favor of Corpus Christi in that second period. The difference, as it always is, has been goaltending. Last minute of play in the third period, brought to you by La Quinta Inns and Suites as we're skating 5-on-5. Cats leading 7-2, trying to close out a solid weekend sweep here at home against the Corpus Christi Ice Rays. This will be win number 8 in a row here at the K. Yeager Coliseum. That will tie a franchise record. The Wildcats, with the home win, will improve to 11-2-0 in this building, as this is Kuzin at his own blue line. Played it along where Knight will grab it in his own zone and bump off the back wall for Cook in the last 25. Cook swept softly along, knifed out of midair by the Wildcats. No high stick here, as this is left briefly behind, as Knight stashes that away from an on-rushing Ice Rays skater. One last rush for the Wildcats. Here's Reisinger looking to close it with a bang. He scores! Max Reisinger makes it 8-2. Sending him off in style. Max has capped off his great weekend with a goal. 8-2, 9.9 seconds remaining. When he's going good. And Max is going great right now. That is his third goal on the weekend. We'll have one last puck drop as formality here. 8 seconds remaining. Wheeling back into his own zone to let the misery expire is Murphy. That'll do it here at the KYC. Horn sounds. The Wildcats come up with another big offensive showing. 8-2 is the final score. They pick up their 8th home win in their last 8 home contests. Austin Shaw gets the win in net. Picking up goals was pretty much everybody in the lineup. We'll step aside momentarily. When we come back, we'll put the wrap on this one here from the K. Yeager Coliseum. Final score, 8-2 in favor of the Wildcats here in Wichita Falls. We'll be back in just a moment to wrap this one up on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network. Corner with you at the K. Yeager Coliseum. We're putting the wrap on another resounding win for the Wildcats. An 8-2 final score as it was capped off by Max Reisinger's unassisted goal at 19:51 of the third period. Let's get you the scoring summary here as the Wildcats dominated this one from start to finish once more. Austin Albrecht got it going at 10:45 of the first, and as vaunted as the power play is for the Ice Rays, the Cats scored on the Ice Rays power play before Corpus Christi did. Albrecht raced away shorthanded and split the wickets of Andrew Lindgren in the Corpus net. That made it 1-0. Evan Oakley then made it 2-0 on a power play tally, tucking it home from Reisinger and Townsend at 14:27 of the first, and then to really cement the good vibes heading into the locker room, Eric Yeager would tuck one home from Oakley at 19:43 of the first period. In the second, it was more of the same from Wichita Falls. Cam Knight picked up a goal on a great transition rush. Beaulieu stepped out of the box and played a pass square along the blue line to Cam Knight, who had rushed along for it. Knight took a couple of strides, let a couple of guys get in front of the net for some traffic and some screens, and then wristed it into the back of the twine for his sixth goal of the year to make it 4-0. The Blue Liners were just getting started, though. Next, it was Shane Kuzmeski, who finished the night with 4 points, picking up a shorthanded tally at 14:56 of the second shorty of the night for the Wildcats. Special teams galore here in this one. We knew the special teams were going to play a big role, but we didn't know exactly how that was going to look. Well, what it looked like was a couple of power play goals for the Cats, a couple of shorthanded goals for the Cats, and that's a good recipe for success at any level of hockey. Anyway, Kuzmeski made it 5-0. Reisinger quarterbacked a shorthanded rush. He toe dragged and walked towards the middle. His shot was saved by Lindgren, but Lindgren couldn't locate the rebound, and it was sitting right above the crease, about 3 inches away from his left pad. Kuzmeski was the quickest to locate it. He pulled it back and then loaded it up and threw it into the back of the net to make it 5-0. Third period, the Ice Rays would scratch into the deficit. Ryan Kuzin on the power play at 1:41 of the third, but Kevin Sherazin would score his team-leading 13th of the year, make that 14th of the year at 3:47 of the third. That made it 6-1, and even though Connor Kelly would score to make it 6-2, goals from APAP on the power play, and then one last capper by Max Reisinger at 19:51 of the third would complete the scoring as the Wildcats come out 8-2 winners. Getting the loss tonight is Andrew Lindgren. He makes 16 saves on 24 shots. Getting the win tonight, his 11th of the year, is Austin Shaw. He makes 22 saves on 24 shots. With the win, the Wildcats now improve to 18-5-0. They are 13-2-0 in home games and 11-2-0 at the K. Yeager Coliseum. They have won 8 straight here at the KYC, which ties them for a franchise record. With the loss, the Ice Rays remain winless on the road. They are 0-8-4 away from the American Bank Center, 13-10-4 overall, 12-9-3 in the division. The Wildcats, by the way, on the other side of that coin, improved to 15. 2 points on the Topeka Roadrunners, and they are now just 2 points back of the Roadrunners with 3 games in hand still remaining. One little check here on the out-of-town scoreboard. It's 4-0. The Brahmas leading over the Killer Bees, so it looks like Lone Star will keep pace with the Wildcats down at the NITEX and will remain 1 point back of Wichita Falls. Well, we want to thank you for joining us on this edition of Wildcats Hockey presented by Armored Roofing here at the KYC. Reminder, the Wildcats have wrapped up their 2014 slate here at home, but they'll be back better than ever in 2015 for 8 home games here at the KYC. Reminder, our next broadcast will be Friday night, 7:30 start time from State Farm Arena in Rio Grande Valley at the Texas-Mexico border in Hidalgo. I'll have the call for you with pregame starting at 7:25 right here on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network. Until then, I'm Ben Horner saying thanks so much for joining us. This has been a presentation of Wildcats Hockey presented by Armored Roofing. For all of us at the Wildcats, good night and take care.